against any charge, from DUIs to homicides. If you've been injured, our compassionate team will assess your case and fight for the compensation you deserve. Serving all of New Hampshire, Craig and Getzoulis is here when you need us most. Visit CraigGetzoulis.com or call 603-555-1234 for a free consultation. Craig and Getzoulis, your advocates, your allies.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry. Located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Diz's Cafe is the place to put a smile on your face. Judy and the crew will take care of you. Bring your appetite and treat your taste buds right. Diz's Cafe is always a winning choice. Breakfast, lunch, or supper. Diz's Cafe at 860 Elm Street in downtown Manchester. Dine in, take out, or make a reservation. Call 603-606-2532. Eat, drink, and be happy. Diz's Cafe.
When it comes to keeping WMNH on the air and your own personal or business computer needs, trust Groland Computers. Located on Elm Street in Manchester, Groland handles computer repair, virus removal, and custom-built systems. Are you looking for budget-friendly options? Check out our selection of fully inspected used computers. We offer tailored on-site solutions. No unnecessary expenses here. Visit Groland.com or call Groland Computers at 603-645-0101. Your tech, your way. Trust Groland Computers.
Midnight.
7 times out of 10, we listen to our music at night. Thus spawned the title of this program.
Late Night Delight with DJ Midas, right here on WMNH Manchester.
You wanna know why? Because I'm on the radio.
Saturdays and Sunday nights, midnight to 4 a.m.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
Behold the harmony of airwaves as you immerse yourself in the captivating frequencies of WMNH-LP, the sonic heartbeat of Manchester, transcending through the ether at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation. Our transmissions emanate from the zenith of 1000 Elm Street. Venture into the heart of our creative realm at 119 Canal Street, where innovation and sound collide. We bear the imprimatur of Manchester Public Television Service in the venerable city of Manchester, New Hampshire, USA. Enrich your auditory journey with the depth of our licensed residents. Dispatch your missives to WMNH953@gmail.com or traverse the virtual corridors of WMNHradio.org. Engage with our sonic vibrations by communing with us through the digital channels. Your radio beckons, eager to enthrall you with its mesmerizing cadence and envelop you in a symphony of boundless auditory wonder. WMNH, rip the knob off.
You know it's different once the chorus comes in. There's 4 letters to the name. H-O-P-E.
I ain't grow up in the hood, but I'm good there. Try to walk in my shoes, not the good pair. Still ball on an and one. I'm the father of the game, understand, son. Move with the work, sorta like a tandem. I'm about to take the rap game for ransom. Different meetings when we greet them and say hands up. Kill pen game, Charles Manson. Who done gave a boy pen? Don't you know that it she spin? I'm just trying to touch the world. Paper is my middleman. Mama said no Ritalin. They gon' knock the way you think. I was trying to find some hope. Thought I found it in a drink. Paper problems on my plate. Trying to get them in the sink. Whole time I was killing beats. Told them I was innocent. Still about a $1. Only if it's making sense. Trying to get this money straight. Just to buy a Benz. All of this drive like a chauffeur. Can't count the times I came from cold shoulders. Hand me the rock the weak and make bolder. My circle per squared like PlayStation controller. Hold up, they pray that I retire, but I got it. Feel like Trump when I spent 5, build a wall around the profit. Call it how you want it, I'ma treat them how they treat me. Started from the bottom, never said it would be easy.
And I remember when DMX used to come into those prayers. Church and honor. We gon' have to end this one with a prayer. I hope y'all with me.
Heavenly Father, I feel remorse for the pain of cause. On my grind, stabilizing my handlebars. Many times, close my eyes and aim for stars. Remember, it's gonna take friction if you want to spark. They say the church end when the night starts. But ain't he the man who could like dark? My God, he helped me balance these burdens. Trying to turn the baggage to a Birkin, swerving.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Here we go. It is that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious Manchester, New Hampshire, here on Canal Street. Today is Saturday, June 13, 2024. We have a very, very busy show for you today. We opened, of course, with the brand new single from Hope the Rapper. That one is called Heavenly Father, as we are in week 5 of our 10 world radio premieres of new singles from Hope the Rapper. 10 weeks of world radio premieres, and that is the 5th one in the series. That is Heavenly Father by our friend Hope the Rapper. Really, really great stuff. And the track that we heard after that is called If I Can't Be With You. And that is by Mr. Cameron Sutphin, who is here with us on this this very humid Saturday morning. Welcome, Cameron.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Great to have you here, and I'm looking forward to hearing you play. You did bring your guitar. And by the way, so congratulations are in order, I believe. You're about to get married?
Yes, I'm getting married. So we're less than a week. So I'm getting married next Friday.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I saw your Facebook post. This is your last public performance before the wedding?
So I'm doing the Sandown Summer Concert Series on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Because my fiance and I are both working right up until the wedding.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. Good for you. Good for you.
So.
Well, I'm dying to hear you play something. If you want to.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So this is the first track on the album. It was put out last month, and it's called John Henry. This was my attempt at writing a John Henry song, because being a folk singer, I wanted one because everyone else has one.
All right.
John Henry was a steel-driving man. John Henry was a steel-driving man. He never worked for coal 'cause they tortured the land. John Henry was a steel-driving man. The mountains are being torn down. The mountains are being torn down. Faster than John Henry ever swung his hammer around. The mountains are being torn down. There's dirty water in the streams. There's dirty water in the streams. That ain't good for man, but they only care about machines. There's dirty water in the streams. John Henry beat the steam drill with only a hammer in his hand. But it'll take more than that to rid coal from this land. The air in the mountains ain't clean. The air in the mountains ain't clean. And you can't beat a steam drill if you can't breathe. The air in the mountains ain't clean. John Henry was a steel-driving man. John Henry was a steel-driving man. He never worked for coal 'cause they tortured the land. John Henry was a steel-driving man. John Henry was a steel-driving man.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Cameron Sutphin is with us live in studio here. And you sound great. Your voice is unique. I can't think of anyone who sounds quite like you. Do you get compared to anybody that I'm maybe not thinking of?
Sometimes Bob Dylan, because I like Bob Dylan, and I also I'm a big Neil Young fan.
Okay.
But I don't have as high of a voice as Neil Young does.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, are those guys big influences of yours?
Oh yeah. I got into Bob Dylan when I was a teenager. So my first Bob Dylan record, because I'm in my 30s, was Modern Times from the 2000s. And then I had to go backwards.
Oh, okay.
And figure out that there was the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan, and Blonde on Blonde, and Nashville Skyline, and all the other ones.
Did going back and listening to those earlier releases, did that kind of change? Like, did you appreciate those more? Because artists who've been around for decades, like Bob Dylan, who've had that kind of a career, everybody always says, "Oh, I like the earlier stuff better." But I'm curious if, from your perspective, because you really discovered him late in his career, I'm curious if you feel that same way or no.
I mean, I I like the early stuff. It's, I think most everything Bob Dylan does is genius. But I remember I saw Bob Dylan many years ago with my family in Amherst, Massachusetts, and I was sitting next to. So I went with my mom and my dad and my brother, and I was sitting next to my mom, and he started playing stuff from Modern Times on up to Tempest, which was the latest record at that point. And my mom looks at me and goes, "How do you know these songs?" And I said, "Because he's not doing anything from the 70s. I think at the end he did Tangled Up in Blue, and my mom was like, "Oh, okay, I know that one." I know.
I've heard that he'll do that. Like he'll kind of he doesn't necessarily want to load up his set with a lot of the earlier material, which is interesting because there were probably people. I mean, they might not have shown it, but there were probably people in that audience who were actually not pleased that he wasn't leaning more on the earlier stuff. You know what I mean?
There were behind us where the band Dawes was opening for him. So there was a couple guys there who I thought were older. They were probably my age or mid-20s.
Yeah.
I was a teenager. I was at the time, and they were there for Dawes and for the Modern Times Up. So there was about half and half of the crowd was younger than half was wanted the 70s 80s material.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. And tell us about this album. So you sent me, now this is your debut album, not your debut release because you have an EP that you had put out previously, but the song that we played at the top of the show, and we're going to play another one of course later, but these are from your 13 track full length album.
Yep. Yes. Yep. It's a 10-track, and
it's 10. Okay.
Yep. I made it in a Rocking Horse studio in Pittsfield, New Hampshire.
I'm bad at math. Rocking Horse. That's a name that comes up a lot on the show.
Yep. They're really great. And then so I went there and recorded with my guitar, and then I outsourced because I know some musicians in Nashville. I used to live in Nashville, Tennessee, and so I had the bass player, the upright bass player, was from upstate New York, and he comes down to Rocking Horse once a month and does a whole bunch of sessions.
Oh, no kidding.
And then the steel player was from Nashville. The fiddle player, Amy Alvey, now lives in Nashville, but she used to live in Boston. She's in a bluegrass duo called Golden Shoals, and I met her on a tour called the Massachusetts Walking Tour many years ago.
Yeah.
And then I had my friend Kat Kennedy sing on a couple tracks, and she's out in L.A., and then my friend Mary Hastings, who's out of Concord, New Hampshire, where I am technically out of until August 1st, but after the wedding I won't be there anymore. She sang backing vocals in Rocking Horse. And we used to play in a duo called New Leaves, and we stopped that duo last year because Mary went back to school full time.
Is that who I'm hearing? Because there's a couple of songs where I hear this female backing vocal that it's just beautiful.
Thanks.
Or actually on what track is it? Oh, I think it's Mansion on the Hill.
Yeah, that's
she sings with you, and
yes.
you sound amazing together.
Thank you. Yep. So yeah, and that's that song I wrote in. That's the only song I play that I wrote in college.
Really? Yeah.
Because when you go to Nashville, about your first writers round, you realize you have to throw all your material. You go, oh shoot, that's not good. I have to.
Yeah.
Start over.
What is that, a writer's round, for people who don't know?
It's where you play, you get up with it's you and two or three other writers.
Yeah.
And you play 3 to 4 songs, and you just go around. So you just go right down the line.
Is that unique to Nashville, do you know? Or do they, I don't know, maybe I think maybe I've heard of that happening in New York too, but it seems like it's kind of an unusual thing, right?
It started in Nashville. There's a couple places that do it there was a place prior to 2020 called the Open Door Cafe, and I played there. That was near like Hillsborough, New Hampshire. They would move locations. So they played basement of an old church. They played on a farm, and they would have one feature that would get 45 minutes, and then they would have a couple rounds of people.
Okay.
So yeah, people have taken that, but that was a Nashville model that moved its way up to New York. And
okay, is that intimidating the first time you do that? Because I mean, you're in Nashville, you're among some heavy hitters. Is that nerve-wracking or?
It was. I think the second time. Oh no! The first time I did it, it was called the Commodore Hotel, and the feature. I didn't know who the feature was, and I was going after the feature. I was in the last round of the night because I was new.
Yeah.
And the feature gets up and he says, "This song is a song that I wrote, and it's currently in the top 30 on the country charts," and plays it. And they goes, "This song was a top 20 2 years ago." And I went, "Can I not why couldn't you put me on earlier? I don't want to follow that. Like, this guy's got hits. He has hits.
Yeah.
And then, so he played like 3 or 4 hits, and then he's like, this is a new song. And I went, thank goodness. 'Cause that's intimidating.
I can imagine. Well, I'm dying to hear you play another one. If you're just joining us, we have Cameron Sutphin here with us live in studio. By the way, is this the earliest in the day you've ever played live anywhere?
I did when I moved back to New England in 2019. I think I did a radio interview near Pittsfield, Massachusetts. I believe that one was 7:30 or 8 in the morning.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I think that was the earliest I've ever played.
Yeah. Or it's not so much the playing, right? It's the singing that's the challenge at
I can
early in the morning. You sound great, though.
Thank you. I've had my coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, I can wake up and play guitar, any time in the morning. So we'll do this one's called Without Her.
All right.
Every sunrise and set, every chord that I fret, it doesn't matter, it's all a waste without her. Every line that I write doesn't matter on a lonesome night. They're all throwaways without her. When I walk down the street, there's no one beside me. I'm all alone in a crowd without her. When I turn out my lights, there's no one to hold me through the night. When I get up in the morning, I'm there all alone. And when I dream, there's only darkness, it seems. I can't see the light without her. When I go to the bar, it doesn't feel right at all, 'cause I try to forget I'm without her. When I lay my head to rest, all I feel is emptiness. When I get up with the sun, nothing matters now that she's gone. Every sunrise and set, every chord that I fret, it doesn't matter, it's all a waste without her. When I lay down to sleep and the Lord calls me, will I still be without her?
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love it. If you're just joining us, Cameron Sutphin is here with us live in studio on this Saturday morning. It is, of course, Saturday, July 13, 2024. And are you playing out a lot? Do you play a lot of shows?
Yeah, so I'm lucky. So this is my full-time job, and so like this afternoon and sometimes mornings, a little later than this, about 10:30, I play nursing homes, and that's my quote-unquote day job.
Yeah. And
then I play a lot of folk venues, a lot of coffee houses, and library lawn concerts. I've got a couple of those coming up in August, and farmers markets, really any community event type thing.
Yeah.
Where they want, classic country and folk music.
Yeah. How long were you in Nashville when you lived down there?
3 years.
3 years, yeah.
3 years.
What brought you back?
There's no, I wasn't making any money.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because it's, you're surrounded by all this great talent, but you're surrounded by all this great talent. It's kind of a double-edged sword in Nashville, right?
Yeah, and so my roommate was a guy who played on the EP that I made named Ashton Lee, and he taught me a lot. He moved out to Colorado.
Yeah.
And then the following year, I moved back up to New Hampshire. I moved back to New England. I'm from Connecticut originally.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And, because, it's a hard scene. The rent is insanely expensive because Nashville's, it's a booming city. And I do a lot better in New England than I ever did in Nashville, so I'm quite happy here.
Yeah, no doubt. But I bet you wouldn't trade the experience, right? Because I'm sure you learned a ton.
Oh, I learned a ton. I got to make I got to make a 3-song CD down there, and that was really nice. And I learned how to go into a studio.
Yeah.
So the second time I did it here, I wasn't as intimidated because I knew what I was getting into.
Right, right. That makes sense. That makes sense. Did you have mentors in Nashville? Did you have people who kind of took you under their wing?
I mean, the main guy, and I just met him because I needed a roommate, was my roommate Ashton Lee. And he's my age, and he went to school for music, and he knew way more than I did.
Yeah.
And he really helped me. And then I had this woman I met at a writer's round who was significantly older than me and had been writing in Nashville for about, I think at the time, 7 years, and her name was Deb Zeems. And she helped me learn how to lay a song out on a page.
Yeah.
And how to write, and we did a couple of co-writes, and that really helped.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. How did you get into playing at nursing homes?
So I started playing in a church folk group. It was Holy Family Church at the time in Enfield, Connecticut, my hometown. And there were 3 nursing homes in the town, and every Christmas, one of the guitar players with the Lions Club would have us go play. And I asked somebody, I said, hey, could I just play here? Because I was like 13 and wanted any gig. And they said, yeah, you can play. And then I found out that they'd pay you for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it doesn't just have to be volunteers. Like, yeah, we'll give you some money.
Yeah.
And it just, and then I started calling more up, and then I figured out, well, I can go make a living at it and, not have to get, quote unquote, a real job.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And just go play a bunch of shows, and then at night you can do all the folk type venues.
Yep. That's fantastic.
There's a lot of musicians. There's a guy I met playing the Biggie. I played there a couple years at Connecticut building, a guy named Sean Taylor, who's out of Connecticut. And we were playing, late afternoon, and we discovered we did the same thing.
Oh.
We were doing the same thing.
No kidding.
He's like, oh, yeah, I was doing that the other day, and now I'm here, doing, 12 to 2, and I was doing 2 to 4 after him. And
yeah. Oh, wow.
we
Very
discovered
cool.
we did the same type of thing.
That's awesome. You want to play another one?
Yeah, we'll do one off of the Nashville one.
Oh, cool. Okay.
This one, so this song called Drive, and I put this out. So 7 years ago, the Nashville EP came out called Heartbreak Town, and it was my fiance's suggestion. I'll give Millicent all the credit for this. She heard the songs, and I had told her that I was going to put out this new 10-track, and she said, well, be a shame if, because they had no streams.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, well, be a shame if they're good songs, you should do something with one of them. And so she said, you should make a video. And so I made a lyric video to this song, Drive, and I had someone in L.A. Make it, for me, and it was lyrics and tour pictures of all the tours I'd done with friends and camping. We camped all across the country with a couple friends.
Yeah.
And it got now has 11,000 views on YouTube, which is my first video to have over 10,000 views. So
excellent.
I was quite grateful to Millicent, my fiance, for making that suggestion because it worked. So yeah, it's called Drive. It's about driving around the country. I've been to now 32 states in D.C.
No kidding. Wow.
The only one I flew to was California.
Yeah.
And that was last year to go to a music festival with my brother. So we both flew in and then flew out.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I didn't. Someone was like, oh, you're going to drive? I said, no.
That's a hike.
That's a hike. That's a hike. Although I was playing the Merrimack Public Library a few years ago, and I played this song, And this woman bought the CD, and she said she was doing a cross-country trip, and she was going to listen to it the entire time. And I said, well, it's only 3 minutes, so that might want to throw in other songs.
Right.
That's going to be on repeat for a lot.
Yeah.
I think she was going to either Nevada or Arizona. She said she was driving out.
Oh, okay.
So it's called Drive. Here we go. Drive and drive, don't you ever sleep, counting down the exit signs, like promises you can't keep, like promises you can't keep. Drive and drive, watch the night turn into day, as long as you keep moving, you won't feel the pain, no, you won't feel the pain. Further along, there's a new place to go. You burn through your life, watch it go up in smoke. But there's always a new road, so you just drive and drive and drive. Driving round that New York City town like a desperado, you'll never settle down, you'll never settle down. You sing your songs, pick your guitar, burn both ends of the candle, like you don't care if you fall, like you don't care if you fall. Further along, there's a new place to go. You burn through your life, watch it go up in smoke. But there's always a new road, so you just drive and drive and drive. Further along, there's a new place to go. You burn through your life, watch it go up in smoke. But there's always a new road, so you just drive and drive and drive. Drive and drive, don't you ever sleep, counting down the exit signs, like promises you can't keep, like promises you can't keep, like promises you can't keep.
Yeah, I like it.
Thank you.
I like it. Cameron Sutphin is here with us, alive in studio here, and sounding great. And yeah, I can see where someone I can see where someone would think that was a good driving song. I can kind of picture it. But like you said, not necessarily listening to it over and over and over, but
I didn't even want to calculate all the times you have to repeat to get from here to the Midwest.
Now, how did you wind up working with Rocking Horse? Like I said, that's a name that comes up a lot on the show, and a very popular studio. How did you connect? It's Brian, right?
Yes, Brian. Yes, Brian.
Brian, I forget his last name now. I know him too, and I'm blanking on. I know a lot of Brians.
I'm blanking on it too. It's on the back of the album.
That's all right. Brian from Rocking Horse.
Yeah.
How did you connect with him?
I ended up Googling studios in New Hampshire, and it's about 20 minutes from where I live, and they had samples on their website. And when I was making it, I was playing with Mary Hastings when we were playing with the duo. We were playing Market Days, and the guys running sound were in this band called Club Soda, and they their female singer was having a hip surgery, and they said to Mary, they said, "We're doing this gig in Maine, can you fill in on a couple of songs?" And then they said to me, "Oh, could you play two on some songs?" And we were in front of this 21 outside. They said just under 1,000 people, which is really nice of them. And as we're getting set up and sound checking, I mentioned I was making an album, and they said, "Oh, where?" And I said, "Rocking Horse." They said, "Oh my gosh, we've been there. They're great," and they really are great guys. So I didn't know, the reputation. I just heard the tracks they were doing, and I said, "Oh, this sounds great. I'll go there."
Oh, it's Coombs, right? Brian Coombs.
Yes, Brian Coombs.
I knew it would come to me eventually.
Yeah, they were great. They were great.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I've been to that studio. It's very impressive. Are you going to now? Do you have more? I don't know. How long has this album been out? Is this relatively
June
new?
4th. June 4th.
Oh, so this is brand new.
It's brand new. Yep, June 4th came out.
So you're probably not even thinking about the next one yet, or maybe you are. I don't know.
I've got a handful of songs.
Do you?
Yeah, that I could, put out.
You strike me as someone who probably writes a lot. Do you write a lot of songs?
Yeah. I just wrote last month. I wrote 2, and so I don't have those memorized yet because I'm promoting a new album.
Yeah.
I said, well, I've got these 2. I've got, I'm like, well, I got those 2. I got 3 over here. I said, okay, that's half a record.
Yeah. When you're working with Brian, because a lot of people have described this experience to me, does he become? I mean, obviously he's engineering, he's recording you, but does he also become sort of a de facto producer? Because I know he's got a lot of ideas.
He does, yeah, he does, and that was really apparent when, so I did my guitar and vocals, and then I went in, I redid some vocals, a couple of tracks, and then when Mary Hastings was in the studio, she sings on 4 of the tracks, and he was very much, saying try this here and try that there, and then he, cut it together, and okay, that sounds good over here, and we'll move it around, and then we've got, a good track.
Doesn't surprise me. He's known for being kind of a wizard. He can, he's got a lot of ideas and can really,
he's
very, very creative guy himself. Yeah, absolutely. You want to play another one?
Yeah, we'll do. This is one of. So I had a friend of mine suggest. So when I told him I was making a record, and I told him I was having backing vocals and fiddle, and he said you should probably have 1 or 2 tracks because I play solo so much that are sparse. And so this one's Foolish Game. So this is one of the 2 where
I have to tell you, this is one of my favorites.
Thank you.
I was listening to the whole thing last night.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
This is one of my favorites. This one really, really kind of hit me in a certain way. Yeah.
Thanks. I wrote it about sort of running away from relationships.
Yeah.
That's when I was much younger.
Yes.
When I was much younger. And 20-year-old me was not smart.
A 20-year-old anybody isn't smart. Don't feel bad. All right, Cameron Sutphin, live.
I hate to see a friend flying toward the sun, only to get burned in the end. You're a sturdy soul, just like a chain, but there ain't no shame in lying in the bed you made. Can you fight the urge to run? Would you make it further if you stayed? Can you lie by my side for one more day? Where'd you learn that love's a foolish game? Maybe you're right. I put my heart on a shelf so high no one can tear it down. 'Cause I remember a lie I was told. Time will ease your pain and lighten your load. Can you fight the urge to run? Would you make it further if you stayed? Can you lie by my side for one more day? Where'd you learn that love's a foolish game? And you hear the sound of a slamming door, and you know you've heard it in your past before. Will you shoot me down like a cannonball? Will I see your face when the night turns to dawn? Can you fight the urge to run? Would you make it further if you stayed? Can you lie by my side for one more day? Where do you learn that love's a foolish game? Where do you learn that love's a foolish game? Where do you learn that love's a foolish game?
Very nice. Cameron Sutphin live in studio with us this morning. Yeah, I really like that song.
Oh, thanks.
Lot.
I appreciate that a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. We should, for those just joining us too, we should plug. So you've got one more live show before the wedding.
Yep, that's the Sandown Concert Series next Tuesday, and that's in Sandown, New Hampshire.
Now, what do now Sandown? That is that near Keene?
That's yeah. It's,
okay.
Someone was posting on a Facebook forum that they wanted musicians for this concert series.
Yeah.
And I messaged, I just sent a private message to the people booking it, and with a track from the album and just my name and my bio, and they said, yeah, every Tuesday, and gave me a list of availability.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
So is that something they do throughout the summer? Every Tuesday throughout the summer?
Yeah. That's so they have the so it's on Tuesdays, and they have a farmers market on Tuesdays with the musician, and then that shuts down, and then they have their concert series at night.
Oh, very
so
cool.
I'm doing concert series.
Awesome, awesome.
And I'd never heard of it before till this year, and I can't wait to play it.
Excellent. By the way, I can confirm a new fan for you, Hope the Rapper, who of course we opened today's show with his brand new single Heavenly Father, because we're doing 10 weeks of new Hope the Rapper singles, world radio premieres, and he messaged me and was complimenting you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Says you
Thank
sound really good. So.
Appreciate.
And if you missed Heavenly Father, the new single from Hope the Rapper, we'll play that again in a bit on the show as well. So, but try to hit that. I try to hit that every hour with the new with the world radio premieres here on Matt Connarton Unleashed. Have these studio tracks? Have these been played on the radio before?
Some of them have, yeah. So I was on the show just before the album came out, called the Folk Revival. That's out of Worcester.
Okay.
So yep, that's Nick Noble's show. So yep, he played a couple of them.
I'll have to look that up. That's not a show that I'm familiar with, but that's on in Worcester.
Yeah, that's out of Worcester. Yep.
Okay, interesting. All right, very cool, very cool. By the way, so when you play out, do you ever is it always just you solo, or do you ever have other musicians join you?
It's pretty much now it's always me solo. So I played in a duo with my friend Mary Hastings. Also played in a duo with my friend Mary DeProto. That's many more years ago. I do have the bass player actually at St. John Jugon Church in the folk group. He told me to message him the tracks, and he said, if you're ever playing locally, I'll play. So we might do something, after I'm married. And I'll have him backing me. But he doesn't want to travel too far. He's like just local Connecticut,
Yeah.
But it's mainly me. One of my favorite singer-songwriters, Guy Clark, who said, you can make a living if you can play solo, because there's very little overhead.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So it's mainly been just me, but that might change. I might have a backing musician or two.
Sure.
Come along with me.
But there are advantages, of course, practically and logistically to being a solo act. I myself, I'm a musician, but I've only ever played in bands. So I know that, with bands, it's always, there's the challenges of working around, even just for rehearsals, working around everyone's schedules. And then when you're trying to book shows, okay, you got to find out, is everybody available to do it and this and that. So when it's just you and a guitar, you can,
I know
that part's pretty easy.
In Nashville, because there's, so many bands. And so so I'll give the example, my roommate, Ashton Lee. So when he would book a show with his band, he had a guitar player, bass drummer, and he would sing and play guitar as well. And if the drummer couldn't make it because, I've got another gig, he'd start calling around, and then he'd send the new drummer for that night the set list.
No kidding.
And go, here's the covers, here's the originals, listen to the track, be ready to go. Wow. And you're expected to just go.
No kidding.
Same thing for bass player, guitar.
Yeah.
Here's the charts. Here's the covers, here's the originals, listen to them, and this is the set list for the 2 or 3 hour show.
I'll be damned. No kidding. Wow. I suppose if there's a city where, you you can pull that kind of system off. It's Nashville, right? I mean, maybe they do it that other places too, but wow.
They were playing tourist spot, Lower Broadway, and they had got done, and then this guy from a different honky-tonk runs over. He says, "Can you guys come play another 3 hours? Because our band they can't make it. Something happened."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, we can, but our bass player can't. He's got to go play over there." So they ran around, found a bass player, and went, "Here's the set."
Wow.
And they removed the originals because the bass player had never heard. So they just said, "Here's the set, and we'll substitute these covers. Can you do it?" And he said, "Think so."
That's wild. That's incredible to me.
And they did another 3 hours, and he said, "Yeah." He said it went okay. Bass player knew 90% of, it's the same country covers. So he said he knew 90% of the set, and there might have been one song where he's like, "Oh, I don't know that one." They just tell him what key it's in.
Yeah.
Okay, it's this key feels like that, and the drummer counts it off, and away they go.
That's amazing. But so you've really got to have your chops, though, in that kind of a situation, right? Because if you're in a scenario, or if a scenario might arise, I should say, where you're going to be called upon, you got to either know these songs or you got to learn them really fast. Like you've really got to be on your game.
Oh yeah, I primarily went down there to songwrite, so I was not playing in, a ton of bands and doing Lower Broadway much at all. But, I went down there to do the writers' rounds and try to songwrite. But, yes, the session players there are incredible as to what they can do on the fly.
Yeah, that's remarkable.
If you want a guitar solo, you say, "Well, there's a guitar solo right there." They'll play you 3 guitar solos and go, "Okay, pick one."
Yeah.
And it'll be in one take. 1, 2, 3. Okay, pick one.
Yep. Oh, that's amazing.
And it's on to the next thing.
Yeah, that's incredible.
They're all so fast.
That's amazing. Do you want to play one more live one?
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, let's see which one we can do here. We'll do.
And if you're just joining us, Cameron Sutphin is here with us live in studio, sounding amazing.
Get the guitar tuned first.
Yeah. What's the name of the album, by the way?
It's called Part of Me.
Part of Me. Any story behind the title?
So that's the title track, and I just I named it that because I felt the album was pretty personal.
Yeah.
We'll do. So I said I play nursing homes. That's my day job.
Yeah.
So this song, this is the only pandemic song on the record. I promise.
Okay.
I didn't overload it. I know we're 4 years out, but this song came from I was visiting a particular assisted living in Kennebunk, Maine in 2020. They let me inside, which was incredible. And this woman after the show, and by came up to me, I meant 18 feet away because the staff wouldn't let anyone go near anybody.
Yeah.
And she said, I understand that there's this virus out there, but I'm in my 80s. And I just want to see my family, and I don't care because, honestly, how long do I have to live? And there's no end to this. And I went home that night thinking about it, and I wrote this song from her perspective and everyone there because there was absolutely no end in sight. And in 2021, when everything starts to open up, those nursing homes were dead last to open up.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And people didn't. They're like, it's back to normal. I'm like, but there's this one population that they won't let do much still.
Yeah.
And even in, it was just last year, some of them said no more masking in nursing homes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were pretty...
Yeah, they waited.
They waited for a long time.
Yeah.
And navigating that, and I knew a lot of people that were working in, in those places that ended up, moving on to other jobs because...
Yeah.
And that was, never mind the residents living, that was just the employees that just said, I've had enough with healthcare, I'm going to go. I've got a new career.
Yeah.
So this is my, this is the last time you'll be seeing me. I knew a lot of activities directors that just...
Was that stressful for you, by the way? I didn't, because until you brought this up, it didn't even occur to me. Like during the, at the height of the pandemic, playing these nursing homes, because in a lot of these nursing homes, like, once COVID got in there, it just, obviously it spread like wildfire because that's the most vulnerable among us, 80-year-old people.
So the first show was, I'll remember this day forever, it was April 29th was the first show back, and we did something outside in Vermont. So those started happening, and then I did a ton of shows over Zoom, and I pre-recorded stuff, and then
okay.
And then Mary, my friend, and I, we made, because we couldn't do Christmas shows, so we made Christmas DVDs.
Yeah.
And I paid my rent in Christmas DVD sales, and I would, so we recorded, burned them, and I would go down to the post office every day, have 5 or 10 of them stacked, going to Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Nashville. I had one in Wyoming that didn't have the technology, but wanted one, to do a virtual show. And so I paid my rent that December in DVD sales.
Interesting, yeah.
So I made it work.
Yes.
It was scary for a bit, but then it, the Zoom shows came out, and it was okay.
Yeah.
And then, it was, well, okay, I can pay all my bills, and, if this is the way they want it forever, I can pay my bills.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
once the public shows, open up more, I'll do those.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, so this is called From a Distance. From a distance, that's how it's been for 6 months now. Who knows when this ends? Can't hold my son or my grandkids. All I get is a window visit. They told me if I hug them, I might get sick and die. But right now I give my life to hold them one more time. Don't know how I'm gonna make it through. This is lonesome, like I never knew. They can't tell me when I can kiss my son. They just tell me to be strong. But it gets lonelier every day. I don't see anyone's face. I don't mind risking my life to hold my family one more time. From a distance, that's how it's been for a year now. Who knows when this ends? Can't hold my son or my grandkids. How am I supposed to live like this?
Very nice. Cameron Sutphin live in studio with us. Beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much.
Hey, Cameron, before we run out of time, please let everyone know how they can find you online. Where's the best places to go to keep up with everything that you're doing? Get your music, check out your live dates.
Yep, so it's Cameron Sutphin Music on Facebook and Instagram. And the dates are posted. The July dates are posted there. We'll have the August dates up soon. And then Cameron Sutphin on Spotify
and
or iTunes.
And for the spelling impaired, of course, S-U-T-F. I'm sorry, no.
That's okay.
I'm spelling impaired. S-U-T-P-H-I-N, correct?
Yep. And
Okay.
then once you have that, you type that into Google, you can find everything about me.
Yes, there you go. There you go. Yeah, it's not a particularly common last name. So
No, once you have that spelling down, that's it. It's all there.
Yeah, exactly. And congratulations again on the nuptials.
Thank you. Yep, we're excited. We're less than a week away, so that's exciting.
Well, we're gonna close out the hour with one more studio track from Cameron. This is called "What Makes It Great." Anything we should know about this before we play it?
No. So I wrote it. So I wrote it all the way back in it was 2017, and everybody in 2016, there were a lot of musicians writing protest songs with the line, "We don't need to be made great," and I gave myself a challenge to use that line, but to not be specific.
Okay.
Because Bob Dylan, when he wrote protest songs, was not specific. Anyone could use them for anything.
That's true.
You know, the time "Blowing in the Wind" was not specific. "Times They Are Changing" was not specific as to what the senators or congressmen were for or against. It was just general.
Yeah, you're right.
And so
I haven't thought of it that way.
So I gave myself that challenge. I said, can I write a song with that phrase in it and not make it specific?
Yeah.
And it was about an old car I used to own that got up to 295,000 miles, and I got trading for it.
Oh, my God.
And the car out there just hit over 200,000 miles and
wow.
still running. I've been very, very lucky with cars.
What kind of car is it? I'm curious now.
So the car out there is a Nissan Versa.
Okay.
And then the car in the song was a 2012 Hyundai Sonata.
No kidding. Wow. All right. Well, very good. So we will close with this. This is called "What Makes It Great," the great Cameron Sutphin. And we'll have to have you back again in the future.
Thank you so much.
This was really wonderful. And check this out. And if you are listening live on Saturday, there's plenty more to come. But "What Makes It Great," Cameron Sutphin.
I got this car, 2012 Hyundai. Bumper's missing, headlights out, but it runs the same. The windshield's cracked, but it still drives. It's not what you see that makes it shine, but it used on Broadway. Almost a year ago to the day, it's traveled 50,000 miles since then. It's ready to travel them again. You don't need that flash and shine. You just need something to get you by. Keep your details, your chrome and flames. It's what's underneath that makes it great. Some men are rich, and they'll let you know when on their sleeves put on a show. But I know things men keep inside. Late at night, when they turn out the lights, you don't need that flash and shine. You just need something to get you by. Keep the details, your chrome and flames. It's what's underneath that makes it great. It ain't fast, it's rusted through. It doesn't shine, it doesn't look new. But I don't need something fresh off the lot. I'll stick with what I got. You don't need that flash and shine. You just need something to get you by. Keep the detail, your chrome and flames. It's what's underneath that makes it great. It's what you do, not what you say. It's what's underneath that makes it great.
You know it's different once the chorus comes in. There's 4 letters to the name. H-O-P-E.
the hood, but I'm good there. Try to walk in my shoes, not the good pair. Still ball on an and one. I'm the father of the game, understand, son. Move with the work, sorta like a tandem. I'm about to take the rap game for ransom. Different meetings when we greet them and say hands up. Kill pen game, Charles Manson. Who done gave the boy pen? Don't you know that she spin? I'm just trying to touch the world. Paper is my middleman. Mama said no Ritalin. They gon' knock the way you think. I was trying to find some hope. Thought I found it in a drink. Paper problems on my plate. Trying to get them in the sink. Whole time I was killing beats. Told them I was innocent. Still about a nickel dollar. Only if it's making sense. Trying to get this money straight. Just to buy a Benz. All of this drive like I'm a chauffeur. Can't count the times I came from cold shoulders. Hand me the rock the weak and make bolder. My circle per square like PlayStation controller. Hold up, they pray that I retire, but I got it. Feel like Trump when I spent $5, build a wall around the profit. Call it how you want it, I'ma treat them how they treat me. Started from the bottom, never said it would be easy.
And I remember when DMX used to come in those prayers. Church. Honor. We gon' have to end this one with a prayer. I hope y'all with me.
Heavenly Father, I feel remorse for the pain of cause. On my grind, stabilizing my handlebars. Many times, close my eyes and aim for stars. Remember, it's gonna take friction if you want to spark. They say the church end when the night starts. But ain't he the man who could like dark? My God, he helped me balance these burdens. Trying to turn the baggage to a Birkin, swerving.
In times of crisis, you need a law firm that stands by your side. With over 40 years of experience, Craig & Getsoulis is dedicated to fighting for your rights. As former state prosecutors, our attorneys have the knowledge and trial experience to provide an aggressive defense against any charge, from DUIs to homicides. If you've been injured, our compassionate team will assess your case and fight for the compensation you deserve. Serving all of New Hampshire, Craig & Getsoulis is here when you need us most. Visit CraigGetZoulis.com or call 603-5551-234 for a free consultation. Craig & Getsoulis, your advocates, your allies.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Diz's Cafe is the place to put a smile on your face. Judy and the crew will take care of you. Bring your appetite and treat your taste buds right. Diz's Cafe is always a winning choice. Breakfast, lunch, or supper. Diz's Cafe at 860 Elm Street in downtown Manchester. Dine in, take out, or make a reservation. Call 603-606-2532. Eat, drink, and be happy. Diz's Cafe.
When it comes to keeping WMNH on the air and your own personal or business computer needs, trust Grolan Computers. Located on Elm Street in Manchester, Grolan handles computer repair, virus removal, and custom-built systems. Are you looking for budget-friendly options? Check out our selection of fully inspected used computers. We offer tailored on-site solutions. No unnecessary expenses here. Visit Grolan.com or call Grolan Computers at 603-645-0101. Your tech, your way. Trust Grolan Computers.
Midnight. 7 times out of 10, we listen to our music at night. Thus spawned the title of this program.
Late Night Delight with DJ Midas, right here on WMNH Manchester.
You wanna know why? Because I'm on the radio.
Saturdays and Sunday nights, midnight to 4 a.m.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
Behold the harmony of airwaves as you immerse yourself in the captivating frequencies of WMNH-LP, the sonic heartbeat of Manchester, transcending through the ether at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation. Our transmissions emanate from the zenith of 1000 Elm Street. Venture into the heart of our creative realm at 119 Canal Street, where innovation and sound collide. We bear the imprimatur of Manchester Public Television Service in the venerable city of Manchester, New Hampshire, USA. Enrich your auditory journey with the depth of our licensed residents. Dispatch your missives to WMNH953@gmail.com or traverse the virtual corridors of WMNHradio.org. Engage with our sonic vibrations by communing with us through the digital channels. Your radio beckons, eager to enthrall you with its mesmerizing cadence and envelop you in a symphony of boundless auditory wonder.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
It's 1 a.m. all I can feel is chocolate and tears and lies you keep, secrets that you'll take to the grave. I should be asleep, thoughts are racing my mind. Can't keep the peace, so can you tell me why? Trust me when I say it's getting harder to miss you now. Pack my stuff, I'm going now. All I want is to see your shadow fade. Stop the car and I drive away. Finally broke out of your cage, 'cause something wasn't sitting right. All they phone calls at night. Talking won't do you good, saying you're misunderstood. I got more without you now. I got more without you now. Can't keep the peace, can you tell me why? Trust me when I say it's getting harder to miss you now. Packed up my stuff, I'm going now. All I want is to see your shadow fade. Stop the car and I drive away. Finally broke out of your cage, 'cause something wasn't sitting right. All they phone calls at night. Talking won't do you good, saying you're misunderstood. I got more without you now. Without you now. Without you
That is WIN, Without You Now, Sofia Gillani. And that is the newest single. And we're going to play something more of hers in a little bit after we talk. But now hopefully she's with us. because sometimes when we Skype with people across the pond, it doesn't always go smoothly. Sophia, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, awesome. I got nervous. You said this was your first time using Skype, so you are now officially initiated as a Skype user. By the way, so am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, you are, Sofia.
Okay, wonderful. And it's Gillani?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure. Very good. Yeah, I really like the track. It's catchy. And we're also going to play a little bit later after we talk for a little bit. We're going to play Levels, which I believe was your previous single, which I also really, really love. So great stuff. Whereabouts are you? Where are you from?
Right now I'm in Surrey, in England. So like the countryside bit of England.
Yes. Very nice. Is that where you're from originally?
I was actually based in London originally, but now I'm in Surrey at the moment for the summer.
Oh, okay. Why for the summer? Is it just better to get out of the city?
I just love the countryside, man. I always, like to think, I think it makes me think clearly when I'm in the countryside and, I get to see family and, see all the pets that we have and stuff. It's nice to reconvene after like being in the city for so long.
Yeah. Does it help you creatively? Do you find yourself writing more music when you're there and able to kind of relax and get away from the city?
Yeah, I think the hustle and bustle of the city is great, but also when you're like in that really calm mindset, like sitting in a field or just like, doing really simple activities like walking, like for fun, it's like, I can really take this time to myself and think about what I want to write about, what I want to produce. So it definitely does give me fresh perspectives and new messages that I can put in my songs.
Yeah, I can understand that. Even, here in the United States, a lot of people will tell you like, we're on less than an hour away from Boston. And I've had a lot of musicians from Boston or musicians I've talked to from New York City who, they love being in the city and the energy of it and being around all these creative people and whatnot. But sometimes you just have to get out to kind of clear your head. And that's when some real creativity can sort of come in.
Yeah, definitely. I think with the city, it's very diverse. There's so many different sounds. So the city is great for like that music community. But when you want to really kind of produce music and write and just kind of concentrate on yourself, I definitely think the countryside is the way to go.
Yeah. Now is WYN, how long has that been out? That's relatively new, correct?
Probably like 1 or 2 months old.
Oh, okay.
Baby, love WYN. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Has
that been played on American radio before now?
Not really, actually. This is one of the first ones. So thank you for supporting me.
Excellent. No, happy to do it. Now, do you have a full album out or are you just releasing singles at this point?
Well, at the moment I am releasing singles, but I'm putting them all the singles that I've released and like a few extra ones into this project called Pieces of You. It's, it's such a cute little, it's not an album, I would say. It's like a project of all the songs I've already done, like just a recollection of my start to music. And I've been doing a few HMV performances. I've got a few coming up later this year in Basingstoke, Brighton, Winchester. It's going to be cool. And I've already done some just now in Woking and Guildford and in Portsmouth, which is really cool.
It's interesting how, we live in a time where musicians use a number of different approaches in terms of releasing music. And a lot of the people that I talk to now, because I'm old enough to remember when it was a standard thing, you put out an album and then release a series of singles. But now what a lot of musicians are doing, and it sounds like this is your approach, is releasing a series of singles, which eventually become an album. So the process has become kind of inverted. But I think the advantage to doing it that way, and I don't know if this is part of your strategy, but I feel like the advantage of doing it that way is, you're continuously giving your audience new music instead of making them have to wait and wait. And, we do live in a culture now with technology, with the internet and social media and everything where you kind of have to feed that machine, right? In order to maintain that engagement with your audience.
I think, the music industry at the moment is very, very hustle and bustle. So when you do release those singles, it's always, something new. I feel like an album for me right now, if I did it completely full of new music and just release an album, it's really, in my opinion, heavy unless it's got like some sort of storyline or if I really feel like I need to like release a full album. But you know, it's very formal, and I think doing singles is fun, it's playful, and with the Digipack album and the record store performances, it's just a nice way of me being able to put out loads of music and stuff and still be able to constantly express myself, but not have it in that so, you know, packaged album, you know, kind of way.
Right, right. And also with releasing singles, you know, just one at a time, you can really kind of give each single the full attention that it deserves. You know, you can make a video, you can make a lyric video, you can make a, you know, a full fully produced video. You can, you know, you can do all kinds of things with it. You know, you can use it however you want to in terms of social media. Whereas when you put out an album, you can't really, you know, you'll release singles from an album, but you can't give every single track on that album the full attention from a marketing standpoint, from a social media standpoint that it may deserve. So I think it makes sense.
Yeah, and it gives it a bit of breathing room as well. When I release a single, it's like the only thing I talk about, the only thing I promote. Like, physical copies are important as it's all digital, but, you know, with the Digipack and the tiny little project with all the singles in it. But when I do release single after single, it's nice to be able to promote that one single on my social medias and talk to people about it in interviews and, you know, just give it the room it deserves. So yeah, definitely agree.
You referred to physical media as well. So I'm curious, here in the United States, physical media is still very much a thing. Vinyl has really had a resurgence, especially over the past decade. I think 2022 vinyl for the first time actually outsold CDs. But we have guests on the show too who still put out CDs. Not all, some of them don't. But I'm curious, what is it like there? Is physical media still an important part of all of it? And do you release these songs as CDs as well, or have you ever put out vinyl, or do you just focus on doing it digitally?
I right now at the moment it's all like Digipack album pieces. It's just CDs, but we are definitely thinking of branching out, you know, into vinyl. But right now we're doing it one bit at a time with the Digipack. To me, you know, I think it is very important in the UK as well to have that kind of fun CD physical copy, because when people see it, they're like, oh, you know, this is, you know, a part of like an era of your life. This is part of your music. And while we could definitely branch into other things, I do want to take it one bit at a time, because as I'm always, you know, on this journey. Vinyl is important, CD is important, but right now it's just, you know, CD.
Yeah, absolutely. Where do you record? Do you work with a producer, or, I mean, a lot of people now, again, we live in an era where you can do it all yourself if you want to. What's your approach? What's your process in terms of recording?
So my dad was a musician, so he would release all the time. Yep, he was. And so we had that, like, that's originally what kind of started my music career. We had that equipment at home. And so starting with the career, we would literally just do it in our conservatory. We'd set everything up and just record at home. In terms of producing, I have worked with producers before. I'm actually good friends with them. But, you know, the songwriting process, most of the process, actually, when creating my songs is, you know, individual. It's me, and I do most of it at home.
Wow. Well, you had a great start, right? That's pretty cool having a dad who, is he still active musically, your father?
Yes, he is actually. But he's, you know, he's given a great deal of support to my music career as well. Like, he's always kind of motivated me, and he's taught me very valuable life lessons in music as well, which have definitely helped me progress and, you know, do things such as release a Digipack and stuff like that.
That's wonderful to have the support of your family. That's great. And of course, you know, to come from what about your mom? Is she also musical, or?
She's not but, you know, she's always the number one biggest fan, filming at all the gigs, all that good stuff.
That's great. That's great. No, I'm sure they're very proud of you, and it's great to have that foundation. I think that you know, because not everyone has that, obviously. So I think that's remarkable. What's kind of the future? What's the future trajectory for you? Are you going to obviously? So this single's still pretty new. Do you have another one that you're planning on releasing soon, or are you still just kind of focused on continuing to promote WIN?
I'm definitely gonna give WYN the summer, but in September, I'm actually thinking of releasing a new single.
Yeah.
It's called Visions. I'm very, very excited for it. It's quite different from this song. It's more like methodical, a lot more harmonies. It's something I've been working on for actually quite a while, so I'm excited for that to come out.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we'd love to be the first American radio station to play it when it's ready. If
Absolutely, I'll give you the exclusive and everything.
fantastic. We love to do that. So that's great. Are you playing out a lot? Do you play a lot of live shows?
Yes, actually, summer's been jet-packed. I've been doing festivals. I just actually finished Hazelmere Fringe Festival, was playing main stage. That was so fun. Just doing a few London gigs, all that good stuff. Really been playing. But, now I think for July and August, I'm going to enjoy the summer. And then later on down the line, I'm going to be doing some more record store gigs, promoting Peace to Me, just on that grind.
Yeah, excellent. Is that still a big thing there? It seems like in America, maybe in big cities they still do it, but it seems like in America, record stores, I mean, they still exist certainly, but the in-store promotions where artists come in and play live in record stores, it seems like that's kind of a thing of the past to some extent. Is that still really popular there?
Oh my God, definitely, because it kind of works like two ways. You do a performance in the record store, you're not just promoting yourself, but like people can come into the store, listen to it. I feel like record stores nowadays, like especially teenagers, because we all want to go back to the old stuff. When we go into record stores and we hear those live performances, it like reminds us that we are all part of a community. And so me doing those record store performances, not only like, it's fun to meet other people who love like music in general, love promote my music, but it just creates this like really beautiful culture of just promoting music, listening to new genres, and exploring the community.
I think in your video for Levels, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's it looks like there might be a clip in there of you performing at a record store. Am I wrong about that? I feel like there was something in the video for Levels where it looks like you're in a store.
Yeah, I think I am at one point. I mean, we wanted Levels to be like this really fun, article gig, we're on those different levels. So there probably is something in there, but there were so many gigs in that video. I remember doing like, there was one with crazy lights, and we just wanted that one to be really playful.
Yeah. No, it's a cool video, and I really love the song too. That's the one that we're going to play at the end of our conversation. Great track. Catchy as hell. It was, after I listened to it, it was just stuck in my head for like hours.
Yeah, literally all the time. They're like levels.
Yeah. Very good. Well, Sofia, what should people know about how to find you online? And obviously, we have listeners here in America who I'm sure want to check you out, keep up with what you're doing, get access to your music and so forth. What should people know about how to find you online?
So I'm literally on majority of social media platforms. On Instagram, I'm sophia.anisa.gillani, and on like YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, all streaming platforms, I am Sofia Gillani. So yeah, especially the Instagram, sophia.anisa.gillani. Go on there. It'll be the most updated social media platform for any gigs coming up, any new songs, the one in September. There you go.
Excellent. Hey, and before we play this, is there anything we should know about this song, Levels? Anything special you want us to know about it?
It's such a vibe. I think when I made it, it was just for fun. It was just, I did write it in the spring, so I was, going into summer. Everyone was excited. Mm-hmm. So, you listen to it, just bop, man.
It's got that vibe. I know what you mean about, in the spring going into summer. Definitely. Sofia Gillani, we'll let you go and we're going to spin this, but thank you so much for talking with us today. And yes, definitely when the next single is ready, let's do that. We'll have you back on. We'll spin the track, and really looking forward to that. Great stuff. Love what you're doing, but thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. This has been so lovely.
All right, Sofia. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that is Sofia Gillani all the way from the UK, Skyping in, and let's give this a listen. This is called Levels.
that diamond peach pro dripping out for me. I got my inner peace, selective breach. Spill the tea, follow with my heart's recipes. No time, just lay it down, drop it out, ready, set in pounds. That's just the right amount, the floor can bounce, never end. My recipe may bend, maybe they just need to send for me. Got it on my own, no rush from me. Time keeps ticking, I don't need you slipping. And we on them levels, we on them levels. Oh, we got nothing other than space for peace, space for me, space for us. When we on them levels, we on them levels. Call it love, but don't you wait. There's only so much you can take. So here we go again, fresh and fair, money in the air. Moon and stars above, move past that, done this and that. What's next for me? I'm hungry for the vibe of that, yeah, the vibe of that. I got my mastery, a piece of me, a diamond peach, pearls dripping up for me. I got my inner peace, following my heart's recipes. Just lay it down, drop it out, ready, set in pounds. Blessing just the right amount, the floor can bounce, never end. My rules if they don't bend, maybe they just need to send for me. Got it on my own, no rush from me. Time keeps ticking, I don't need you slipping. We on the levels. We on the levels. Oh, we got nothing other than space for peace, space for me, space for us. When we on the levels. We on the levels. Call it love, but don't you wait. There's only so much you can take.
In times of crisis, you need a law firm that stands by your side. With over 40 years of experience, Craig and Getsoulis is dedicated to fighting for your rights. As former state prosecutors, our attorneys have the knowledge and trial experience to provide an aggressive defense against any charge, from DUIs to homicides. If you've been injured, our compassionate team will assess your case and fight for the compensation you deserve. Serving all of New Hampshire, Craig and Getsoulis is here when you need us most. Visit craigatzulis.com or call 603-5551-234 for a free consultation. Craig and Getsoulis, your advocates, your allies.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Diz's Cafe is the place to put a smile on your face. Judy and the crew will take care of you. Bring your appetite and treat your taste buds right. Diz's Cafe is always a winning choice. Breakfast, lunch, or supper. Diz's Cafe at 860 Elm Street in downtown Manchester. Dine in, take out, or make a reservation. Call 603-606-2532. Eat, drink, and be happy. Diz's Cafe.
When it comes to keeping WMNH on the air and your own personal or business computer needs, trust Groland Computers. Located on Elm Street in Manchester, Groland handles computer repair, virus removal, and custom-built systems. Are you looking for budget-friendly options? Check out our selection of fully inspected used computers. We offer tailored on-site solutions. No unnecessary expenses here. Visit Groland.com or call Groland Computers at 603-645-0101. Your tech, your way. Trust Groland Computers.
out of 10, we listen to our music at night. Thus spawned the title of this program.
Late Night Delight with DJ Midas, right here on WMNH Manchester.
You wanna know why? Because I'm on the radio.
Saturdays and Sunday nights, midnight to 4 a.m.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
Behold the harmony of airwaves as you immerse yourself in the captivating frequencies of WMNHLP, the sonic heartbeat of Manchester, transcending through the ether at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation. Our transmissions emanate from the zenith of 1000 Elm Street. Venture into the heart of our creative realm at 119 Canal Street, where innovation and sound collide. We bear the imprimatur of Manchester Public Television Service in the venerable city of Manchester, New Hampshire, USA. Enrich your auditory journey with the depth of our licensed residents. Dispatch your missives to WMNH953@gmail.com or traverse the virtual corridors of WMNHradio.org. Engage with our sonic vibrations by communing with us through the digital channels. Your radio beckons, eager to enthrall you with its mesmerizing cadence and envelop you in a symphony of boundless auditory wonder.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Trapped inside the void, I cannot feel myself. My soul is failing me again. There's nothing left this time. The constant cease of life. Every ounce of me is drained.
I really like that a lot. That is Freeze. That is new from Bullet to the Heart. Great band from Chicago. They've been on the show with us before, and I believe we have Audrey Queen from the band with us on Skype. Hello.
Hi. We also have Draven DC.
Draven DC is with us. Hello. Welcome back.
Hey, what's going on?
Were you both on with us last time? I think you were.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Hey, I love that track, and we're also going to play Fight at the end of our conversation. But yeah, welcome back to the show. And Jenny and I are both really big fans, and I love these. I love these songs. When did we have you on? It was more than a year ago, right? Probably maybe a year and a half ago, the last time we talked.
I think it was about a year ago, because about a year ago we released Death Oddities and Romance.
Yes.
Okay. So what's been happening since then? Obviously, you've created some new music, which we really like. But what's been going on with Bullet to the Heart? Give us an update, if you will.
So we've been writing new music. As you heard the new track Freeze, and we have Fight. So we have a new EP coming out. We're also working on some new music. We parted ways with Tom Monroe due to his mental health. He felt it was better for him to step away, and we gained a new member, Six, who is our resident demon right now. And we're writing new music, and we're getting ready to do our headlining show at what? I'm sorry, Draven. I didn't. Our headlining show in West Dundee at Rock House on August 17th, and that's what he was trying to say. He was trying to tell me, and I was like, what? We're getting ready to go out on tour. We're confirming tour dates right now for middle of October to early November.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Was it difficult with the change? Obviously, with Tom leaving and Six coming in. I mean, was that sometimes? I mean, I've played in a lot of bands, and sometimes when there's a change in members, it might go smoothly, it might be seamless, it might be difficult and challenging. I mean, what was that like for Bullet to the Heart?
It was challenging, but overall it went very smoothly. I mean, Tom was the one that approached us and said that he wanted to step down, and he wanted to make sure that him stepping down, we had someone to take his place so that, we weren't left without someone. But overall, we sat down, we had a serious conversation about everything, and we parted ways on a very good note. We still love him very much dearly as a friend. We try to do anything to help him with his mental health journey and what he has to go through. So it wasn't horrible, and Six has been a longtime friend of Draven's, so it just made sense for him to come in because he was helping us do a lot of things anyway. So
yeah,
the transition was smooth, and everybody's on good terms.
Yeah, I mean, I know that when you're doing what you're doing at your level, because you're obviously very busy. A Bullet to the Heart, it works very hard, and if somebody's struggling with it, I mean, it's good that he had the maturity and the sophistication to see that he needed, because as you said, he approached you. So that couldn't have been easy for him. And obviously too, when you've got a lot of momentum, when you've got a lot going on, you don't want anything to slow you down, and you certainly don't want to be the one causing everything to slow down either. So it's good that you are all able to maneuver that together, and that you're still friends, and onward and upward you go. So that's good. Are you playing a lot of shows? You mentioned you've got the tour coming up. Have you been playing a lot locally as well in recently?
So we actually slowed down a little bit this year because of the member swap. We really took time to write these next couple songs, and we're going out and doing this headline show, and we don't really necessarily like to headline all the time.
Yeah.
So we're doing it with a purpose, and we're pumping a lot of production into this album release show. We're doing full lights, video screens, props, the whole shebang, so to speak. And because of that, we're doing the same thing with the tour. So last year we did 6 or 7 tours or something. And this year we're only going to do one, 4-week one, just because we're going to be a little bit more production based, a little bit more prop based.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of just doing one big one with a purpose. So we're kind of slowing things a little down, make sure that we kind of nail our craft and that we're doing stuff correctly. You know, we don't want to overdo it this year.
Yeah. It makes sense to me that you're adding a lot in terms of production, because I think that your music kind of, you know, you listen to a song like the one we just played, Freeze, and if you're listening to that and you don't know anything about the band and, you know, you're just kind of letting your imagination take you wherever, if you think about what it must be like live, it seems like you would expect there to be some production there. It's not something you would expect to, you know, you just walk into a bar and you see a band just playing a song like that, because the song is so, it's intense. And our friend Miriam Banish in the chat room says it, she really likes it. She said it sounds kind of eerie, but it sounds like something that demands some sort of visual production to go with it. So I think that's great that you're doing that. Has that kind of always been a goal for the band? Have you always wanted to be able to do that?
Yeah, you know, we've gotten asked before in other interviews and other shows, etc. Because like we started doing the production stuff kind of when like Breathe came out.
Yeah,
that's when she kind of really like got into a character, and we showed all this dark imagery and kind of story stuff. And it's a lot to do. I mean, it costs a lot of money. It's a lot of time conceptualizing how it relates to the music. And we did it a couple times live. We really on the when we went on tour with Yngwie Malmsteen, we were playing big theaters, and because we had the theaters, we were able to dress up and do like the Revenant, like the vampire thing when Revenant dropped. So we were able to do this like vampire thing. We were able to connect it to a couple things like on stage, and we kind of really enjoyed that. And a lot of people like ate that up. So we were like, how do we do that again, but now with this new song? So we came up with these characters and did all this stuff so that it could connect not only to the music, but the theme and the story that we're trying to convey.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now, has the process changed with, well, actually, let me ask it this way. The new songs, the songs that we're playing today, were these done with Six, or were these originally done with Tom?
So they were started with Tom.
Okay.
He never made it to final tracks though, but they were written with Tom.
Okay.
And then when we got Six involved, he definitely amped up the sound a little bit. He's a little bit more of a technical musician, so we were like, oh, let's heavy this up. Let's make this atmosphere darker. Let's change it up a little bit. I know in the song Fawn, which will come out August 2nd, right before the EP drops, he added this breakdown part at the end. So there's a middle breakdown that's pretty heavy. He does this weird off-time breakdown that we all had to learn in the song. So he kind of added that kind of stuff, like just a little bit extra sauce, if you would, on the songs.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Is it different playing live with him, or is that kind of this, you know, is the vibe different at all, or?
I would say a little bit. He is also he's also done vocals before in bands, so he definitely the harmonies have added a depth. Have added a depth to the music and to the live show. He's also helped us like kind of rewire some of our equipment, like tones and stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of that has definitely helped.
Yeah.
And overall, I think we have a better sound.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I love the new tracks. Jenny was showing me a video too. It might've been, was it the video for Freeze? Is there a video for that, or is it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That was the one Jenny was playing the other night. And she was talking about how, I don't remember, I don't think I've watched all of them necessarily, but is there a red door in every video, or is that like a theme that you guys have?
Yes. So the red door symbolizes the realms that these trauma demons live in, and our main character is going through these different realms trying to face her trauma head on and heal from it.
Okay. Oh, it makes sense. Is that kind of a theme? Is that also a theme with Fight as well as Freeze? Because we're going to play Fight in a little bit. Does that kind of carry over? Yeah.
Yeah, so Fight is the one that kind of started the red door. You'll see in the beginning of the video, our main character goes through the red door, and then she finds herself in the first trauma realm, which is Fight. And then at the end, we see the red door again. that will transition into the freeze trauma realm, and then at the end of freeze you see the red door again, so it's going to transition to another realm.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, so there's a story. That's cool. Yeah, I seem to recall from our previous conversation too, we talked about how part of the I don't know if mission is quite the right way to put it, but part of what you're trying to do with this band and with your lyrical content is, there's a lot of talking about people dealing with issues, people dealing with problems, and trying to work through them, and using your music to try to kind of reach people that way. Not just be this loud, heavy band that people can enjoy, but you really get something out of it that's helpful and useful and applicable in their lives. And I mean, am I correct about that? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And that definitely translates into, obviously, the newest EP, Trauma. I wanted to take the trauma responses, each one, fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Oh. And I wanted to kind of touch on all of those trauma responses and how someone would react in those trauma responses. But then I also wanted to add my own trauma that I have gone through. I recently, in December, was diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So I really wanted to showcase, because I had always dealt with mental health, but I never had dealt with my own mental health. So I'm finally getting there, and I wanted to show the world that, it's okay to not be okay. And we all go through trauma, and we either come out on the other side strong, or we come out with some sort of mental illness, and it's okay. You are stronger than that, and you can heal from that. And how you deal with what's going on, you should come first in your life. Your mental health, your physical health, you should be a priority. So if you feel like you are not okay, there are resources for you to reach out to, for you to get help. I mean, we really need to keep pushing towards that. Like, mental health is the most important thing. So I wanted that to come across in this new EP, Trauma.
Yeah, that's great. Do you ever hear from people who listen to your music and they pick up on that and they talk to you about it, like about their own trauma?
Yes. So it was really prominent when I remember back when Breathe came out. We had a lot of people approach us on tour about that, because that one was about mental health and addiction. And I had someone recently, one of our Bloodline members, come forward and talk about like his trauma and how his mother ended up passing, and our music basically got him through that and showed him that, I'm not alone in this world. There are people that understand me. And then it led him to reaching out to other Bloodline members, and he ended up getting so integrated in the community that he was like, you guys really helped me. And that, I think that's like our biggest mission, is like to connect people and be like, look, you aren't alone. People are dealing with what you're dealing with. They may not understand it, but they want to be there to help you. And it has just, the response has just been so good and so overwhelming, just like it always has been. And like the continued love and support is just like, this is what we live for. It's just the love and the support.
Yeah, no, that's remarkable. I commend you for doing that. Is it challenging to write lyrics from that perspective, or does it, I don't know if maybe it comes naturally to you, but you're dealing with heavy stuff here. Is that challenging?
It lately it has been a little challenging, but also I've just always, since I was young, I always wrote poetry, and I always was looking up like different words and definitions that could describe. I was always trying to figure out like what was going on inside of me. So it was kind of like a natural ability to put what I was feeling to words. But sometimes that is difficult, because as much as you want to like tell people like this is what's going on, it is hard to face yourself and be like, there is something wrong. And it's hard to kind of tell other people about it, but that's something that I'm working through. But I mean, at the end of the day, I always tell myself, maybe this song that I wrote from my perspective will touch somebody else and they'll think about their perspective and be like, if she can talk about it, I can talk about it, and I can be seen and I can be heard and I can get help. And that might, you know, honestly save somebody's life. I recently got a semicolon tattoo because, you know, continue your story. Your story is important no matter who you are. And maybe somebody someday wants to hear that story and maybe it'll help them. So just live every day, and you never know, like, the possibilities or the potential that you truly have.
Yeah. Well said. You mentioned Bloodline members. What is that?
So our little fan base, we call them the Bloodline. We have a song called Bloodline, and that's basically about all of our fans. Like, you guys are the reason why we continue. You're the bloodline. You pump blood into our hearts, and it makes us full, and it makes us want to just continue on. Like, our fans are the reason why we do what we do. Because if we didn't have fans, I mean, I love making music, but I don't want to make it for myself. I want to make it for other people. I want other people to be touched. So we call our fan base the Bloodline.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, we have a group on Facebook that you could join. There's like a couple questions just to verify you're not like a bot.
Yeah.
But the community right now, we're like 570 something members strong, and it's a great way for people to connect, talk about the music, talk about other music, talk about how they feel. I know a lot of people within the community have reached out to each other and not only become friends, but also like really close friends and borderline family at this point. Everyone's been able to lean on each other for certain stuff because, you know, life goes, man. And we know personally, like some of our fans, like their parents have died or friends have died, and they've gone through something traumatic, whether it's a diagnosis or something else. And they've always been able to connect in that group. And we're always there answering the group as well. So it's very cool to see a community grow, not just from like a business perspective, but for a community, like for themselves.
Yeah, that's excellent. That is fantastic. I'm really glad you're doing that, and love what you're doing. Love the music, love the songs, and I love the whole, like I said, the sort of mission of it. I think is fantastic. Well, in a moment, we're gonna wrap up and we're gonna play this other track, Fight. But I also want to make sure that, because you do have a lot going on, what should people know about how to keep up online with everything that Bullet to the Heart is doing in terms of releasing music and playing shows and everything? What should people know?
So the easiest way to keep up with us is to go to our Facebook page. There's a link tree, and if you click on that link tree, it will take you everywhere that we are. We're on Twitch. We're on Patreon. We have a merch store, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. It literally will take you everywhere. It's your one-stop shop on how you can keep up with Bullet to the Heart. We're most active on Facebook and Instagram. We do have a TikTok, and buying merch is the easiest way to support us getting out to a show, and then subscribing to Patreon, because we got a lot of behind the scenes that you might be missing out on.
Yeah, excellent. And I encourage people too, go on YouTube, check out the videos. The videos are really, do you do all that yourselves, or do you have a production team that you work with? The videos are amazing.
Yeah, so I kind of co-produce and co-direct. I also conceptualize a lot of the stuff, but we work with Akash Hans. He's a pretty big name out in Chicago. He's actually one of my close friends that I actually work with, because I do production work with him as well.
Yeah.
But he just loves making movies, man. That's his goal. So when we try to do these music videos, it's not just a music video; it's a cinematic experience.
Mm-hmm.
And him and I work really hard to like really nail that in. And Six has been a great help as well, because he's also got that creative production brain. So when we were doing something like Freeze, like we had to take down the music video aspect. Like there's not a lot of playthroughs. There's no drums. There's no guitar stuff in there. It's just Audrey raw with some cinematic stuff. And he was a good help with that as well.
Yeah. No, I encourage people to check those out. They are really amazing. And so we're going to end with this track, Fight. Anything we should know about this song specifically?
So Fight is it's about the fight trauma response. It is in your face. It is you fighting, you ready to go.
Aggressive. Let's go.
Yeah. No, I love it. Well, thank you both, of course, Audrey Queen, Draven DC. Sorry. Really wonderful to talk with both of you today. Like I said, I love what you're doing. Jenny and I are both big fans. And our friend Miriam was commenting in the chat room too, how much she likes you. So we'll have to do this again in the near future because as you're releasing new music, and I love this whole concept with these tracks. So we're going to play this, but I'm going to let you both go. But thank you again so much. Really appreciate talking with you today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us on.
Absolutely. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. That is Audrey Queen and Draven DC and their band Bullet to the Heart. Great stuff. Check this out. This is called Fight. And if you are listening live on Saturday, we have more to come in the third hour. So don't go anywhere.
In times of crisis, you need a law firm that stands by your side. With over 40 years of experience, Craig & Getsoulis is dedicated to fighting for your rights. As former state prosecutors, our attorneys have the knowledge and trial experience to provide an aggressive defense against any charge, from DUIs to homicides. If you've been injured, our compassionate team will assess your case and fight for the compensation you deserve. Serving all of New Hampshire, Craig & Getsoulis is here when you need us most. Visit craigatzulis.com or call 603-555-1234 for a free consultation. Craig and Getzulis, your advocates, your allies.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Diz's Cafe is the place to put a smile on your face. Judy and the crew will take care of you. Bring your appetite and treat your taste buds right. Diz's Cafe is always a winning choice. Breakfast, lunch, or supper. Diz's Cafe at 860 Elm Street in downtown Manchester. Dine in, take out, or make a reservation. Call 603-606-2532. Eat, drink, and be happy. Diz's Cafe.
When it comes to keeping WMNH on the air and your own personal or business computer needs, trust Groland Computers. Located on Elm Street in Manchester, Groland handles computer repair, virus removal, and custom-built systems. Are you looking for budget-friendly options? Check out our selection of fully inspected used computers. We offer tailored on-site solutions. No unnecessary expenses here. Visit Groland.com or call Groland Computers at 603-645-0101. Your tech, your way. Trust Groland Computers.
Midnight. 7 times out of 10, we listen to our music at night. Thus spawned the title of this program.
Late Night Delight with DJ Midas, right here on WMNH Manchester.
You wanna know why? Because I'm on the radio.
Saturdays and Sunday nights, midnight to 4 a.m.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
Behold the harmony of airwaves as you immerse yourself in the captivating frequencies of WMNH-LP, the sonic heartbeat of Manchester, transcending through the ether at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation. Our transmissions emanate from the zenith of 1000 Elm Street. Venture into the heart of our creative realm at 119 Canal Street, where innovation and sound collide. We bear the imprimatur of Manchester Public Television Service in the venerable city of Manchester, New Hampshire, USA. Enrich your auditory journey with the depth of our licensed resonance. Dispatch your missives to WMNH953@gmail.com or traverse the virtual corridors of WMNHradio.org. Engage with our sonic vibrations by communing with us through the digital channels. Your radio beckons, eager to enthrall you with its mesmerizing cadence and envelop you in a symphony of boundless auditory wonder.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
That is Vultures. The band is Swarm, in all caps, by the way, from Texas. And we've got them with us on Skype. Hopefully everybody can hear each other. Hello, are you guys there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, awesome. Yes, I can. You guys hear me okay?
I hear you clear.
Beautiful, beautiful. I always get nervous when we're merging calls with Skype because, well, it's Skype and you know how that can go, but it looks like we were successful. Welcome, guys. Who do we have on the line with us? Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Parrish. I'm the singer of Swarm and also the original creator. And then we got Bats, our guitar player here.
Yep, I'm here. I'm Bats. I play the guitar.
All right, welcome. Hey, I love your sound. I have to say, so I feel like the genre of, I guess, industrial metal would be the term. I feel like there's not enough of it. I feel like there was a time when there were a lot of bands doing this, but I don't feel like there's that many around right now that are doing this. So when Jenny sent me you guys and said, you know, this is a guest that I've booked, I listened to these tracks and we're going to play another one at the end of our conversation. And I was just blown away. This is great stuff.
I really appreciate that a lot.
Do you guys kind of, where in Texas are you? Are you in Dallas?
We are Dallas, Texas.
Okay. Yeah, we've talked to a number of bands over the past couple of years from your area, but they're always just like, metal, mostly just straight metal. So this industrial aspect is, like I said, it's unusual. I mean, are there other bands in your area doing what you're doing, or do you guys really kind of stand out?
We're kind of the only industrial metal band here in DFW. We do have industrial acts here, which we do play a lot with and stuff. And we also cross genre and play with a lot of metal shows. But as far as like an actual industrial metal style band, we're pretty much the only one here in DFW.
Yep, it's just us.
Yeah. So I would imagine doing what you're doing, like you said, you play with a lot of industrial bands. You also play with a lot of metal bands?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you kind of fit in either way, right?
Yeah.
When you play shows with... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Believe it or not, our actual first show as an actual band and not a solo project was a death metal concert.
No kidding. Yeah. So in a scenario like that, how does the crowd react to it? I mean, even if they're trepidatious at first, I imagine you can win them over, but are people into it right from the onset, or is there a process of kind of winning people over because, you stand out a little bit, right? You're doing something a little different than what everybody else is doing.
So the first time that I performed, we performed with the death metal show, which was our first concert, I was very nervous, and I was like, these are a bunch of big metalhead dudes, and we're not up there ooh, Cookie Monster, so it's not, we're not quite that heavy. So I was kind of scared how they were going to take to it. But to be quite honest with you, as soon as we got going, I guess people were just happy to hear, more metal, and different kinds of metal. And I've been noticing, a lot of the shows here lately have been cross genre, as far as different types of metal. We're very blessed here in DFW to have the scene that we have, and a lot of understanding people who just have a knack for different kinds of music and different types of metal, so it's been a definite blessing. We've had we've gotten to play with a lot of different metal bands and different types of metal acts, and we've played with a lot of different types of industrial acts. So it's gotten kind of the best of both worlds. We really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's excellent.
We do.
That's excellent. Paris, you mentioned you started the project.
Yeah, so originally I was in a synth pop band.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, wow.
And I wanted to do something that was completely opposite, just unfriendly, mean, heavy, and broody sounding. So during the COVID time, lockdowns and everything, I just, I had a lot of time off work. So I just sat there and started creating, a different sound palette and coming up with the Swarm sound. And then, I got a show that I had to fill in for my other band because my singer was sick, and I was scared to death because it was just me and a bunch of synthesizers. And, I got up on stage and performed, nervous as heck, it can be, and everybody was like feeling it, and I was just so impressed. And I got off stage, and next thing you know, like I had more offers for shows, and time to make this a band, So I started reaching out, and we went through some lineup changes, and Bats here, he's been one of the most long-term members we've had so far in the band. Definitely a keeper, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And
Good.
He's really added a lot to the heaviness factor, and he's got a lot of new metal influences. So
yeah,
it brought us into like a whole new genre, where we're not even just like we're catering to like so many different genres, because each one of us has our own different music taste, and we all bring it to the table,
Yeah, that's great. And Bats, I assume you played in other bands before Swarm?
Oh, yes. I played in multiple bands. I'm originally from the New York, New Jersey area.
Oh, okay.
So I was part of that metalcore scene back in the early 2000s, and when I moved down here, I didn't play for a while, and then I saw a Facebook ad with this guy a year and a half ago, and I was like, you know what? I want to do that.
Yeah.
And I reached out, sent him a video, and he was like, "You're in, buddy boy."
What was it that so you're from the Northeast, so what was it that brought you to Dallas?
Oh, it was during the 2009 during the recession, and this is where the jobs were.
Yep. No, that makes sense. Yeah, and it worked out musically for you, that's for sure.
It really did. It took almost 14 years, but finally landed a real nice gig with Swarm, and I wouldn't want to be in any other band. It's probably the best band I've ever been in. I've been in a lot of bands, and it's just the camaraderie, just even the musical talent. Like Parrish was saying, all four of us, we all have different musical taste, and we all bring it in together, and it comes out. Like we have new metal, we have industrial, we have hardcore, and it just all comes together.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to add to that. Yeah. So, like I come from the hardcore punk scene, and, I didn't get into industrial until like 3 years ago. So it's still all new to me,
Wow.
But,
yeah,
we're a big old melting pot.
No, that's great. Whoops, I didn't mean to play that yet. Sorry. we are going to play that. You probably recognized it. Just making sure it's loaded up and ready, and I accidentally started playing it. Little sneak preview of Perdition, another great track. But now, so who else is in the band with you, and what does everybody do? Like, do you have a live drummer, or how does that work?
So we have struggled with the drummer position in our band. We use, and we're industrial, so we do a lot of programmed distorted drums and modified drums and stuff. So we started off with a drummer, and he was great, but we had to part ways with him due to health reasons. He was a little bit of an older gentleman. We love him to death. Dean, if you're hearing this, we love you, bro.
Yeah,
but
stuff.
We had to part ways, and then we've just kind of struggled with it. And then we added Jermaine, who plays synthesizers and does all the drum machine work for us and everything. And
yeah,
in addition to him, and he adds so much energy back there. Just having him on stage, we just kind of decided not to have a drummer. We may in the future add one, but as of right now, we just run our drum machines and stuff. But definitely if we find somebody, they gotta jive with us, because we're all best friends, and it's kind of a plus, that we all get along as good as we do. But at the same time, it's a curse, because we definitely want somebody who can fit with us, because we spend a lot of time together, and it makes sense, at the end of the day.
Yeah. But it's great that you have a project where you don't necessarily need a drummer. I mean, when you're doing something, heavy and aggressive, industrial is the one sort of zone of that where you can, not necessarily have a drummer. And I know that, and this seems to be universal, because whether I talk to somebody from Dallas or whether somebody from the local area up here or whomever it is, drummers seem to be the hardest to find. And
they really are.
Yeah.
Oh,
and they play in like 12 different bands.
Yes.
They're 20 different bands.
Yeah. Well, I have a theory about that. I think what happens is, when you're growing up and you want to start playing a musical instrument, when you have to go have the conversation with your parents about, yeah, I want to play and here's what I want to play, that and drums and maybe the tuba are the two instruments where they're going to actively try to talk you out of, nobody wants, no parents want, drums in their, unless they live in an area where there's no neighbors and you know what I mean? So that's my theory about why drummers are in such high demand and there seems to be so few of them.
Oh yeah, it's definitely been a challenge. We've tried a few different guys out and it's just styles didn't match and stuff of that nature. So, we're not actively looking for anybody. We personally feel that the right person will come our way and we'll just know,
And then when it comes to bass, Vinny Steele, our bass player, that guy is a show in himself. Even if we didn't play, you can put Vinny there with him and his bass, and it would be a show, and people would pay to play to see it.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, he's a monster on stage, and he comes from the hardcore scene too.
Oh,
so he'll be on stage hardcore dancing and throwing his bass around, and just he's something to see for sure.
He can play that bass like our one song Heartworm. We'll be playing it. He will punch the notes in, literally punch his guitar, and still keep playing the song.
Wow. Well, I'm a bass player myself, so I have to tell you, I really admire that. I'll have to. Are there videos online, like on YouTube? Are there videos of you guys playing live?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
We do have those. It's a Swarm_DTX.
Okay.
And we have a lot of live videos up. Some actual full shows of us even.
Oh, I'm gonna check.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're on good old TikTok.
Okay. Very good. So I'm curious too about the name. Where does the name come from and why is it in all caps? And is there any particular significance to that?
So when I originally started this project, it didn't have a name, and I just kind of quickly just I wanted something that fit the sound, and I did like a lot of grainy synths that kind of reminded me of like insects buzzing and stuff. So that was kind of like the whole aspect of it. And then a lot of my songs are anti-government and anti-this and anti-that. So it's like we swarm, to stuff. And, it's I don't know, just kind of fit. And as far as the all caps is concerned, I think that's just the way the logo shaped up. It's really not in all caps, but it's be honest with you, that's never been discussed before. You've opened a new discussion.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All caps. It's not abbreviations or anything like that.
Yeah, it's funny because there's some bands too that for whatever reason just get spelled in all caps for no apparent reason. Like I'm a Kiss fan. My favorite band is Kiss, but you'll often see Kiss written in all caps, even though it doesn't stand for anything. Or Rush is another example. You'll often see Rush written in all caps for no apparent reason. It's just people just write it that way, It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the way that our logo is drawn. Yeah, it's in all caps, which I designed it myself, so that might have a lot to do with it.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Now, what about the live show? Because obviously the music that you're doing and the style, it lends itself to, I mean, do you have any kind of production going on or any kind of stage effects? Or maybe you don't need that with your bass player, who's apparently very energetic on stage. But, I mean, does anything do you have a projection screen or anything like that?
So we are very we have some of the best venues here in DFW, and most of them offer full light shows and everything.
Really?
And yeah, we've got if you ever are in town, check out Haltom Theater. I recommend it, and you got to get a hot dog while you're there. But it's a great place, and as far as we've been spoiled, I'm not even gonna lie. We started off. Our old drummer, when we had our drummer, he had a lot of lighting rigs and lasers, and it was cool looking. But we kind of let that go because setting all that stuff up on these shows, you only got so much time on stage, and we never really sat down and perfected that aspect of it. So we've been kind of running bare bones, but it's definitely stuff that we've been talking about adding. Like we just recently, I started incorporating a mask on certain songs that I wear.
Yeah.
You know, it just fits the songs. And we have a song called Heartworm where I wear it and stuff. So we're definitely getting to the point where we are about to start investing a little bit more in the actual scenery on stage and stuff. So,
Yeah.
And, one thing we do is, like, I move around a lot, and Jermaine Bloodied, he's in the back with the synth. He moves around a lot too. He is constantly moving, and Vince is constantly moving, and Parrish is moving. There's a lot going on stage, even without the lighting.
Yeah.
But like Parrish was saying, we're gonna start adding those up, some banners, because I don't use an amp. I actually plug in directly with an amp modeler.
Oh, no kidding.
So set up, I could be on stage in 2 minutes or less. Plug in, XLR, done. Same thing with Vinny Steele.
You know, I'll bet other bands that you play with love you for that too. That and the lack of a drummer. I bet other bands that you play with love you for that, because I just know from my own experience, like, there's nothing worse than, you know, waiting for, you know, when you got a bunch of bands on a show. And I also used to promote a lot of shows, and it's like, there's nothing worse than when you're waiting for bands to set up and they're taking forever. Even worse when, like, if you're following a band and you're waiting to get on stage and they're taking forever to break everything down. But it sounds like you guys must be super efficient with that, I would imagine, with the way that you approach your setup.
Oh yeah,
we can set up in about 8 minutes, the whole band.
No kidding.
Yeah. Now we do take the drum riser up though. We put Jermaine up there, and he has his whole synth station set up and everything.
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible. I don't know if you've ever seen Skinny Puppy live, but it's kind of, you know, like Kevin Keys has a setup. You know, it's monstrous. You know, I got to see their last show, which was also my first time seeing them, and it was so just to see his rig up there. You know, and that's kind of how we run. He has his big setup up there. You know, he kind of overtowers us, and he's just back there and just throwing so much energy out into the crowd. It's unreal.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Do you guys have any music videos? Have you made any videos that you've posted, other than, you know, you mentioned there's live performances, but have you produced any videos?
We have not yet. We're actually about to start getting into that. We have a song called Heartworm that we're, you know, when Heartworm was originally written, it was with a lot of different members besides me and Billy. Mm-hmm. So we're going to amp that song, and we're going to be releasing a new EP with that and a couple of other new songs on it, and a cover of Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff.
Oh, oh, that's cool. I used to be in a band that we would cover that song.
Yeah,
you outed my name, Parrish.
Do what?
You said Billy. You outed me.
Oh no, Bats. Sorry.
Oops.
It's okay. Everybody knows me. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Break Stuff is a fun song to play. I was in a band called The Jinxed, and we used to cover that song. And our singer, Rhino, he would like turn purple during the breakdown part. He would get so intense and like much more intense than Fred Durst ever did, from what I've seen. I mean, Ryan would just turn red, like he was so into it. That's a fun song.
We joked about it for the longest because, you know, we play with a lot of metal bands, and, you know, everybody wants to, you know, talk smack about Limp Bizkit, not take them seriously and stuff. And I was like, man, I don't care. I grew up listening to all different kinds of music, and I mean, when you're at a party, you know, and you're in your young teens back then, you know, you partied your butt off listening to Limp Bizkit. You know, everybody did. So we just doing it as a cover for the longest, and we unveiled it at like an all metal show the first time we ever did it, and people absolutely lost their mind. Like, especially when it pauses and it goes to give me something to break part. Like, everyone started hopping. I was like, "Yep, we're going to be doing this song for a while now."
Oh, yeah.
We have video of that. We have full video of that on our TikTok, the full version of that.
Oh,
and you can even see my wife tried to start a mosh pit during it. It was great.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, that's great. You guys do any other covers in this project?
We do. We try to incorporate one cover into our every live set we do. So we have a cover of Heresy by 9 Inch Nails that we play, and It's like really heavy. And got the double bass in it and everything. And we're working on a cover of Turn Me Loose by Loverboy, actually.
No kidding. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's fun. I like that. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Where do you guys record? Because there's so many different ways to record music now.
I actually, believe it or not, I handle all the recording at home. Our next EP is going to actually be the first studio, like in a actual studio setting. I'm gonna have an audio engineer do all the mixing and mastering, because I ain't gonna lie, I hate doing mixing and mastering.
Yeah.
So we're gonna outsource it this go around and get everything nice and polished up and do actual physicals of it and everything, which we'll have available on our website. I'd expect it to be complete probably or towards 2025.
Okay. So you say physical, so you're gonna actually put it out on a CD as well?
Yeah. CD, probably cassettes available.
Cassettes. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. It's been a topic of discussion on the show for a long time. I remember it must have been 5 or 6 years ago, maybe longer. I was on Bandcamp looking for bands and bandcamp.com. And I still remember vividly the moment where I saw that there were artists in this area who were putting out things on cassette. And the first one I stumbled upon, I was like, is this real? And then I realized there were a bunch of artists doing it. I was like, oh my God, cassettes are back. I never saw that coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe it or not, that actually comes from your younger audience. So I go to a lot of punk shows and a lot of more obscure shows, and that's kind of where you'll see the cassette tape set.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was shocked the first time I went. I went to this venue called Kiki's House, and there was an industrial group from California called the Diesel Dudes playing, and they had cassette tapes, and I was like, "What is this?" And so I had to buy one,
Yeah.
And, I listen to it regularly. Like it's definitely a regular play for me.
That's wild. When you got that cassette, did you have something to play it on, or did you have to get something to play it on?
I had to go. I went to a thrift store and bought like an old ghetto blaster.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been using.
Oh, don't let him kid you. He's got a Hello Kitty one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's interesting how one of the things that I find interesting about just getting older is seeing over time what how these things change and what goes away and what remains, and sometimes what you think is going to go away or did go away ends up coming back, and sometimes things that you thought would never go away do go away, in terms of technology. And I used to work for I left there in 2013. I used to work for a national chain that sold CDs, and I remember everybody talking about, even back then, any day now, CDs are just going to be gone. There's going to be no more CDs. But even today, here it is, 2024, people still buy CDs. People still want physical media. I mean, it's a lot less than it used to be, but, people still buy it.
Me personally, I'm at a show. If I hear a new band that I really want, as an artist, I understand that, these guys aren't making big money off of these Spotify streams,
Right. We make so much money off Spotify.
So
Thanks.
To me, I feel the ultimate compliment that you can give an artist when you see them live is actually purchasing their music from them, because you're paying them way more for an album than what Spotify is giving them. And not to have like a memory there in your hand, you can pull it up and be like, man, I remember when I bought this. That was a cool show. Those guys are great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have a whole CD collection at my house, and it's nothing but local music and DFW bands. And I always try to pick up my favorite band's new release and stuff when they drop something new and whatnot.
No, that's great. No, I commend you for that. And that's such an important point that you brought up about, if you're going to support local artists, buy their stuff, because Spotify streams. In fact, Spotify, you guys probably know this already, but I guess recently they've changed it. So now if you're under a certain threshold, they're just not going to pay you anything. and granted, it was only pennies anyway, but so it's so important to support local music.
Yeah, we were the only thing that saved us is we have a remix out by Xavier from Three Teeth, another well-known industrial metal band.
Yeah,
and that's kind of been the only thing pushing us, is that we have that out there. So it's definitely been a blessing.
How did that come about?
Interesting story, actually. I met him in a chat that wasn't even related to their band. I didn't even know about their band. It was Access Virus Form, which is a synthesizer I use, and I commented on a post of his because he had showed a picture of his rig, and I asked him a couple of questions about his synth because I was still learning it. He gave me some real good information on it and everything, and we just kind of started, talking back and forth, and he told me he was in a band, and I was like, really? And he told me, I was like, yeah, we're doing pretty good, and he sent me a copy of music, and I was like, wow. And for me, that was the thing that really got me to want to do industrial, was those guys. And when we started kind of getting a little bit more traction, I was like, man, let's get a remix done. And I was nervous. I wrote him, and I was like, hey, man, you want to do a remix for us? I was surprised. He told me he would do it, and it was pretty cool, actually. It's been pretty. So he made us a club remix. It was great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, good for you guys. That's great. So what's kind of the trajectory? You've got do you have anything coming up as far as new music? Obviously we're going to play another track in a moment, but what should we know about what does the future hold for you guys in the short term or the long term?
We do have new music coming up. We definitely do have new music coming up. We got some things in the pipe right now we've recorded, and that's going to be coming soon.
Excellent.
Yeah, stay out there looking for that Street Sweeper song when we release it. It's gonna be a heavy one too. It's bad.
Very cool. Well, please send it to us when it's ready too. We'll play it here, and we'll definitely have to have you guys back. I love what you're doing. Like I said, I feel like there's not enough industrial metal, and it's this stuff is great. I really love it. And what should people know about how to find you guys online to keep up with everything that you're doing?
I'll let Billy handle that one. He's the social media guru.
Well, you can go on our website, www.swarmdtx.com. You can see all our shows on there. We have pictures. We got Spotify to go to. We also have Facebook. Just put in Swarm Dallas. You'll find us.
Okay.
We're on Instagram, Swarm_DTX on Instagram. And on Facebook, we are official Swarm Band on TikTok. You just put that in and we'll pop up.
Excellent. What is the significance of DTX, by the way? I have a feeling D is for Dallas, but
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
And if any of y'all in Dallas, Texas next weekend, we're playing a really awesome show. We're gonna be playing Vulgar Fest at Haltom Theater with our friends in Vivid and Vulgar and Manifestive and Boris. It's gonna be a really good show. Hey, y'all should definitely come out.
Very cool. And thank you both so much, Parrish and Bats. This has been great. I really enjoyed talking with you guys. Like I said, I love your music. We're gonna end this track with this track, Perdition. Anything we should know about this song? I do like the title.
So the song was actually written. I'm not gonna say no names, but
okay.
If anyone's ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, it's kind of about getting away from that and just how much they can just drag you down, and that's kind of what the song's about, basically.
Okay, well, it's relatable. Everyone's been in that situation at one point or another. So great. So we're gonna give this a listen. Guys, thank you so much. Really loved having you on the show. And you've got new music coming, so we will definitely do this again in the not too distant future. But and we're gonna play this track. But I really appreciate you guys joining us today. Thank you both so much.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, guys. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, that was Parrish and Billy. I'm sorry, Parrish and Bats. See, now I'm doing it. From the band Swarm. And check this out. We're going to listen to this, and then we're going to come back, and we've got a little bit more show to go. So I've got one last thing to share with you all today afterward. But give this a spin. Give this a listen. I'm going to give it a spin. You give it a listen. This is called Perdition, and the band is Swarm.
So predictable, crawling under your skin. So pathetic, miserable, it eats you from within. Can't cover this up anymore, there's nothing left to prove. I am everything you hate, I am the
training too.
I want to live in that mansion on a hill where no pain or suffering lie. I want to live in that mansion on a hill where only happiness dwells. I don't want to see behind those walls. I don't want to learn if there's pain or sorrow. I don't want to know if that house is a home. I just want to live in that mansion on a hill. I don't want to hear the words spoken behind closed doors. I don't want to feel the anger towards others. I don't want to know if love lives in that home. I just want to live in that mansion on a hill. I want to live in that mansion on a hill where no pain or suffering lie. I want to live in that mansion on a hill where only happiness dwells.
I love that song. I love the vocals on that. That is Cameron Sutphin, Mansion on the Hill. And if you are just joining us here on Matt Connarton Unleashed, Cameron was our guest in the first hour of the program today. So, yeah, really enjoyed talking with him. He played live for us in studio. Just amazing, amazing. Really, really nice guy, too. So that was Mansion on the Hill. That's probably my personal favorite song from his debut album called Part of Me. And before that, of course, we heard Perdition, one of the tracks from Swarm from Dallas, Texas. And we had Parrish and Bats on the show with us via Skype all the way from Dallas. And I really loved talking with those guys. I thought that was a pretty interesting discussion and great to get their perspective on a number of things and learn about the history of the band. And I love their sound. I love what they're doing. Like I said, I don't feel like there's a lot of industrial metal. There's probably a lot more than I realize, and I just don't realize it because I haven't looked for it, which shame on me, because the internet makes it very easy to find and explore all kinds of music that I might not be aware of, that you might not be aware of. So, but I really enjoyed talking with them. If you did miss any part of today's show too, I do suggest you go back and check it out. Like I said, we had Cameron Sutphin on with us in the first hour, and second hour, we had Sofia Gillani Skyping in from the UK. And then we had Audrey Queen and Draven DC from the band Bullet to the Heart Skyping in from Chicago. So it's been a very, very busy show today. By the way, next week on the show, so Jenny will be back next week, by the way. So we look forward to that. And we've got Tom Russo returning to the program. Tom's been on with us a couple of times. Next week, though, we're going to do something different. It's going to involve writing a song live on the air, and it's going to involve some audience participation. So that's all I'm going to say about it. A little bit of a teaser for you, but Tom Russo will be with Jenny and I here on the show next week, and really looking forward to that. And I love his music anyway. Always get a lot of great feedback when he's on. But yeah, we're going to do something a little different, little innovative. It was his idea, and I said, yes, I like that very much. So that will be next week on the program. By the way, and I do have something to talk about in our remaining moments on today's program. But I'm also going to open up the phone line too, if you want to give us a buzz, if you happen to be listening live on Saturday, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You might have some thoughts on this subject. But something that we talk about a lot on the program is AI, artificial intelligence, and how it affects the music industry and how the music industry is kind of maneuvering through this. And I think the last time that we talked about it on the show a number of weeks ago, Jenny and I were talking about these, I think it was Universal Music Group is threatening these AI companies for allowing these LLMs, large learning models that basically take in all this information and then they're able to spit out whatever it is that you prompt them to do. If you've used ChatGPT at all, for example, you can put in a prompt, ask it to create something for you, and it will, just as an example. But there's a lot of concerns and a lot of hands wringing over how this affects the music industry going forward, and a lot of different ideas and thoughts and concerns and worries. And some of it I think is concerning, and some of it I think, I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings about it myself. Now, at the end of the day, to be clear, I will always advocate on behalf of artists. That's where I come from, and I want artists to be compensated for their work, and I don't want their work to be stolen and so forth. But I'm also not sure how, in a practical sense, as we move into this new realm of AI and in the music industry, I'm not sure how that all works. So, and I don't think anyone really is sure. But there's an article from The Verge, which is a great site, by the way, if you're interested in these subjects, theverge.com, that kind of gets us up to speed on where we are with all of this. There's a lot of lawsuits and threats of lawsuits, and Congress, perhaps shall make laws at some point. And I always cringe at that because whenever Congress makes laws regarding technology, if you watch any congressional hearing on anything involving technology, you can kind of figure out pretty quickly that a lot of these Congress people have no idea what they're talking about, but they're going to vote. They're going to make laws on these things. Anyway, just go on YouTube and, for example, you can look up Mark Zuckerberg testifying before Congress, before a congressional committee, and here are the questions that he is asked, by these, whether it's a House Congressional Committee or a Senate committee. And you'll realize very quickly that the people who are discussing this and making these laws have no idea what they're doing, because they have no idea what they're talking about. Because, 90-year-old Chuck Grassley, although I give him credit, he seems to be very familiar with Twitter. But, do I want him making laws? Not to be ageist, but anyway. But we won't go too far in that direction. But, so The Verge.com has this updated article, The Music Industry's AI Fight. Let's look at this just briefly. We only have a little bit of time left today, but it is a fascinating subject. And if, obviously at this point, because of the way that the show is constructed and the content that we present and all these interviews and whatnot, we talk to a lot of musicians. So we assume a lot of people who are active in the music industry are listening to this program and are probably also interested in the subject. But so here's what this article, again, we'll just spend a few minutes on this, has to say. Again, this is from theverge.com. Surely you've heard Mariah Carey's holiday smash hit, All I Want for Christmas Is You, but have you heard about this other song? It's also called All I Want for Christmas Is You, and it sounds a lot like Mariah Carey. We're about to spend a long time litigating how that happened. Oh, you know what? This isn't the article I wanted. I'm sorry. Wait, let me find... Let's go with, let's go with this one from, this is from NBCnews.com. So this relates to the story that we were talking about recently. U.S. record labels are suing AI music generators alleging copyright infringement. Universal Music Group, and that was the lawsuit that we had talked about, Jenny and I had talked about on the show a number of weeks ago, or it might have been a couple of months ago. I'm not sure. But now Sony Music and Warner Music are also now filing lawsuits against companies like Suno and Udio Maker about this, about using their intellectual property. So in other words, these AI companies are using the music, the intellectual property of the artists that these record labels represent. These AI companies are, if you think of it as, sucking up all of that information. I don't think the technical term is sucking up, but sucking up all that information and then being able to, say, okay, if you tell the AI model, okay, make me a song in the style of All I Want for Christmas by Mariah Carey. And I hate that song, by the way. But does anyone actually like it? I've never heard it. I mean, it's ubiquitous during the holidays, but I've never heard anyone say, oh, I love that song, or I can't wait to hear that song. Ugh. But anyway, so you can prompt it, make me this, and it'll make you this based on the work of all these artists and their information that's been fed into a large learning model. And they call it that because it learns, it uses all this information to learn how to create these things. So let's look at this for a quick update. So this is from NBCnews.com. The world's biggest record labels are teaming up to take two prominent AI music-making companies to court, a move that comes as generative artificial intelligence continues to infiltrate the music industry. Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, and Warner Music Group, among others, filed lawsuits against Suno and Udio maker Uncharted Labs, both of which recently released AI programs that enable users to generate songs from text prompts. And by the way, one of these weeks, if we have a week where we have an hour where we don't have a guest, I think it would be fun to try one of these services out live on the air and see what it comes up with. I just think it would be interesting. It says here, the proliferation of accessible AI tools capable of generating realistic music, including full songs using AI versions of real artists' voices, has triggered a slew of legal and ethical questions for the music industry. Many artists have expressed concern over how generative AI technologies could undermine human work and compensation. Now, when Jenny and I talked about this before, and again, in the end, I will always advocate on behalf of artists, but plain devil's advocate. If I write a song, I'm a musician, I've written some songs. If I write a song or create anything musical, maybe just write a guitar riff, whatever it is, isn't whatever I write, isn't whatever I choose to create somehow influenced and informed by all of the music that I've heard up to that point that I write that song? So how is that any different from an AI model that is fed all of this information and then creates something? Now, obviously, with the AI model, you're taking the humanity out of it, and you're potentially harming people who make their livings creating music, right? Doing the manual labor of creating music. But again, if you want to argue the other side of it, you can say, well, how is that any different than a human who creates music who is influenced by everything that they hear? I mean, that's why sort of plagiarism happens, right? We've done on Friday nights, of course, I'm a co-host on Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C. And we've done several shows. I should plug that too. Friday nights from 8 to 11 p.m. here on WMNH. I always love my Friday nights with Paulie C. DJ Steve, and sometimes Tony Petrello joins us. But we've done several shows now about plagiarism, where people have plagiarized other people's music or are accused of doing such. So, but to me, that's an example of how everything that we create is already influenced and informed by everything that we know up to that point. So how is this different? I'm not saying it's not different. I'm playing devil's advocate and just asking the question, because regardless of how any of us might feel about it from a principled standpoint and a human standpoint, of course, there's also, if you're going to make laws about this, or if there's going to be litigation, which there is about this, you also have to navigate how you approach this from a practical and pragmatic standpoint. And that's not as simple as, you can't navigate that by just saying, well, I feel that this is wrong, or I'm uncomfortable with this. There has to be a logical foundation that everyone can sort of agree on moving forward. So, and time is short, but coordinated by the Recording Industry Association of America, the music recording industry's largest trade organization, the RIAA. By the way, that's the organization that also certifies albums as being gold or platinum. You know, whenever you see a musician posing with a picture of a platinum album, we've all seen those pictures, right? Those are issued by the RIAA. Fun fact that not everyone might know, the artist has to pay for that, has to pay for the certification. There's a fee. They don't just automatically certify albums. And then, you know, when everybody in the band gets their gold record or their platinum record that they pose with in those pictures, that they have to pay for that. They're not just given those by the RIAA. You know, everybody in the band, the producer, and whoever else. RIAA Chairman and CEO Mitch Glazier said in a statement, quote, "The music community has embraced AI, and we are already partnering and collaborating with responsible developers to build maintainable AI tools centered on human creativity that put artists and songwriters in charge. But we can only succeed if developers are willing to work together with us. Unlicensed services like Suno and Udio that claim it's fair to copy an artist's life's work and exploit it for their own profit without consent or pay set back the promise of genuinely innovative AI for us all," unquote. The music labels allege in the lawsuits that building services like Suno or Udio requires, quote, "copying decades worth of the world's most popular sound recordings," unquote, in order to train their models, and that both AI companies have been deliberately evasive about what exactly they used to train those models. But it's obvious what their music generators were trained on, according to the lawsuits. Their models could only succeed in producing such realistic songs, the suits stated, if they had been trained on, quote, "vast quantities of sound recordings from artists across every genre, style, and era," unquote, many of which remain copyrighted by these record labels. Neither Suno nor Udio has publicly disclosed its training data. Both charge tiered monthly membership fees for those who wish to use their AI music generators at higher capacity. Representatives for Suno did not immediately respond to requests for comment. When asked for comment, Udio directed NBC News to a blog post stating that the company is, quote, "completely uninterested in reproducing content in our training set and, in fact, have implemented and continue to refine state-of-the-art filters to ensure our model does not reproduce copyrighted works or artists' voices. We stand behind our technology and believe that generative AI will become a mainstay of modern society," unquote. So Udio says, we're not doing that. And it is hard to prove a negative, right? To prove that you're not doing something. There's a lot more to this. It's a big subject, but we are out of time. So we'll wrap up. We will leave it on that, but I'm sure this is something that we'll be talking about from time to time on the program as we move forward. So again, thank you to everyone who joined us today. If you missed any part of today's show, it will be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org and at my website, mattconnarton.com. Jenny will be back next week. Tom Russo will be with us. And I'm going to leave you with a little bit. We won't have time to fit the whole thing in, but we've played it a few times throughout the show. Hope the Rapper, his brand new single, Heavenly Father, as we continue our 10 weeks of new singles from Hope the Rapper. Every week for 10 weeks, a world radio premiere of a brand new track from Hope the Rapper. And we're in week 5. So here it is, Heavenly Father, to close out this week's Matt Connarton Unleashed. I'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
You know it's different once the chorus comes in. There's 4 letters to the name. H-O-P-E.
I ain't grow up in the hood, but I'm good there. Try to walk in my shoes, not the good pair. Still ball on an and one. I'm the father of the game, understand, son. Move with the work, sorta like a tandem. I'm about to take the rap game for ransom. Different meetings when we greet them and say hands up. Kill pen game, Charles Manson. Who done gave a boy pen? Don't you know that it she spin? I'm just trying to touch the world. Paper is my middleman. Mama said no Ritalin. They gon' knock the way you think. I was trying to find some hope. Thought I found it in a drink. Paper problems on my plate. Trying to get them in the sink. Whole time I was killing beats. Told them I was innocent. making sense. Trying to get this money straight just to buy a Benz. All of this drive like I'm a chauffeur. Can't count the times I came from cold shoulders. Hand me the rock the weak and make bolder. My circle per squared like PlayStation controller. Hold up, they pray that I retire, but I got it. Feel like Trump when I spent $5, build a wall around the profit. Call it how you want it, I'ma treat them how they treat me. Started from the bottom, never said it.
You are listening to WMNH-LP, Manchester's radio.
Broadcasting from the top of 1000 Elm Street. Our studios are located at 119 Canal Street and licensed to Manchester Public Television Service in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Contact us by email at WMNH953@gmail.com or through our website at WMNHradio.org.
Attention passengers, we've now reached our destination.
It's noontime.
Have a nice day.